get a visit from the local plod in the copper, in the chopper right overhead.
Hello, everyone. That's Kem speculating what may be overhead there, an unidentified aerial object. Happy Saturday, the 11th of April 2020, and it is 11:47. Hello, Kev.
Hello, everybody. How are we? Stepping inside because I'm being surveilled. By the constabulary, I'm not really. Possibly. Who knows? How are we all? Hope you're all good. Having a wonderful lockdown and staying in, being good peasants.
Don't
go upsetting the apple cart now, people. No good. Good evening and welcome.
I've entitled it Vocalisation, Conscious Intent, Doing All We Can to Protect Man. So that's your title there.
There it is, right there.
Right there. I would like to say, as we open up then, we are to protect man. If you don't stand for something, you're more than likely fall for anything. And if you don't believe that you are operating on a program, if you do not fill your head with non-mainstream academic knowledge and whatever gnosis in general, if you do not program your mind, etc., conscious, subconscious, then you will operate indeed as somebody else, as a result of running on somebody else's program that will take advantage and let you run on. So we've had quite a deep chat with the fam there on the .com about certain bits. We will, Kev, in advance, if you want to read out, so I don't have to repeat. Well, I don't mind reading it, but so you don't have to go through either one of those Armour of Gods or the Thoth one. If you want to read one of them, if you want to, that might be good to, if you can. If not, I'm going to read it and you can go through a rewind.
You can read it, mate. I've got immediate access to it.
All right, then, yeah, I'm going to bring that up in a minute then, whilst we wait for the notifications to land, and we will see who is awake. And it's quite late, but Saturday night. Last orders at the bar are being called now. Look, here we go. We've had a chat. I've had a chat with I won't say who they are, but two of the regular scribes on here in private, and one of them talked to me about quantum grammar, parse syntax quantum grammar to be exact, and the magic around that, magic seals and words and castings and occult. But they mentioned in specific the letter D and the letter E, and they brought to my attention the D letter, not just in my name, but to the way that it works is it's a straight line, obviously, and then if you we go it like this, and I'm not on the camera, so it'll be quite hard. It's a capital. All these are always capitals. They're never lowercase. It will always be quantum parse syntax quantum grammar is standard capitals only. So just remember that. And the D, it's obviously now that makes that easy to envisage it. You start from the bottom and you draw the line up, and when you got to the top of the straight line of the capital D, you arc over from the head out across the body and down into the feet. The letter E is again straight up, and then it has three outward easterly projecting forward, then forward motion, never mind east, it's forward motion, three struts of the capital E. And they then went on to explain N, U and N, because they were privy to the order and chaos with Atum, Apep, Atum, Isis, Osiris, Sekhmet, and etc. And they explained that none would be NUN. And remember the church there, NUN, not noon, as in NOON, as I saw written, and I was articulated ancient Egyptian bits and bobs from everywhere. So he's helped me out by saying NUN. These are straight letters, the ends. The U goes down on capitals, remember, so three lines on the N, up diagonal from top to bottom, going down and then up again. So two pillars with a diagonal line linking them, going left to right, going higher to lower, from left to right. And the U, following the first capital N, is just a straight line, isn't it? That's bent, basically, going with a straight line towards the bottom, like a horseshoe shape. And the other N, as in the beginning. And he said these letters in We'll just say quantum. You know what I mean. I don't want to keep saying parse, syntax, quantum. In the quantum realm of language, have what did he say? Have an emptiness about them is what I'll say. What I can remember, and I'm like, so that makes the none meaning empty. The letters describing the none are empty. When I said we find a new language, this is part of the pathway to the orchestration of a different new positive language that is not legalese, and it won't be Oxford. It will be comprised by us and managed like this, but we will need to go through this intensively. So myself, Kevin, this scribe that's contacted me privately, and a fourth man known as the G-man, will say maybe the what did I say? What did I call this now? The Quattro Quantum Quartet. Q Q Q. Never mind Q. We got the 3 Qs going off here. So, Kev, do you want to bounce on any of that before I move on?
Yeah, that's a whole other realm, isn't it?
I'm excited.
But,
yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, if you can syntax stuff, that's a skill.
Not so sure. Yes, initially questions aren't going to be able to be answered straight off, but much like the underpinnings of the court system would be UCC and Ecclesia, wouldn't it? And we have the Maritime Admiralty on the face of it. So we'll say even Crowns and higher, all courts would acknowledge UCC because that's the commercial trading uniform level internationally. And then the ecclesia, obviously, because the churches, bankers, etc., the connection with. So this language here is a third. It's from me. This is just a chat. Remember, there's no lawful advice, but legal advice or anything. It's just a consciousness. Vocalization is what we do. So I would see it as now as we can. And we've known of it, but now we can get more articulate and concise with it. So in these moments of uncertainty and guidelines and many lines being cast out here across persons, and I'll give an example of somebody was out, one of our lass's mates, and they got stopped by an officer coming back from a local corner shop with cola in a bag, and the officer presented the question, is that essential for you to be out? Are you required to be out? And this lady has had some peps from us, and this is what we're going to be doing later on for you. And the lady answered, well, yes, it is essential when sugar is classified as a drug, officer, and the drug is introduced at roughly about the age of 1 or 2 in forms of Milky Bar chocolates and etc. The addiction is begun. She says, I don't know if you're aware that sugar is a drug, and whilst we're on lockdown and I have a lot of duties and obligations here, firstly to my family, so I am obliged to go out and get some sugar for my assets because they require it. I'm managing this horrible addiction. With God's help, I will you just get yourself off, love. All right. So he had a checkbook. He had his equivalent of his checkbook for the Crown out there, and he was going to write a ticket and issue a fixed penalty notification. But when she justified the reasons for being out and that it was essential, he just got it heard. So there you go. That's just something to consider. What are you saying, Kev? What was that noise?
Sorry, that was me cleaning an element. Stick it to the man. Get off my case, you Nazi. What is going on? Hey. I have to search your bag. Papers, please.
Is it essential? Well, who's classification? What definition is essential? Can you do what book are we getting the definition of essential out of? Who are you talking to when you're questioning this?
What illegal item do you suspect I have on my person?
It's a prohibition. It's close to a medical martial law with prohibition in full effect here. This is first-hand knowledge I'm giving you. So the lady wants to remain private, which is her, choice. And I can't name, and I can only testify to you this, that if you are stopped and you are questioned, just be careful, honourable, keep calm, listen to what they have to say, consider before you answer, just, and this is from me, remember, from Giddy Pants, Crazy Horse, India Go-Go, take a moment. You don't have to answer instantly. Just say just a moment, and then consider your answer, and then think about it before you say it. Just check it and go, are you sure? Is that your final answer? And then present, and then carry on like that. And if it gets too much, then yeah, I'm telling you, it's a vocalization with conscious intent. So, I realise we've gone off from quantum to that, but I think that was linked in well there. It depends on your fortune. Go on. Sorry, Kev.
Tangent.
Yeah, it's just relative to where we're at with the position. So we are going to look at cementing down some proclamations. I'm not sure about declarations as such, but yeah, declarations, proclamations, intent. We have discussed on the .com certain things that have been put up about information from .gov about certificates and bills and presenting, and we're not going to cover that extensively now, but we are aware. We talked about the religion and faith. Okay, now's the time of where are we? I've introduced you on the 11th of April 2020 CE AD Common Era, the year of our Lord, and now is the time where you need to decide more than any. I'm not telling you, but just bear in mind who you are, where you are, what you are, when you are. You have a person, and you can use that person. And I explained briefly about the rights of how we handle this, and we go with the law, the Mosaic, the testamentary from the scriptures, original. We went back to the Phoenician, Hebrew, Torah. You've got various positionings of up to the KJV, and we realise that the versions of the KJV give you a pathway out to equity, given the original Naked Trust, Genesis, positions and titles. So we work like that, and we use the international covenants and etc. secondary if we hit rebuttals. And in the beginning, we used to go in with one argument and one argument only, and it was, we're not the surety. We demand to see your license, and a registration and ID. And we was quite vexatious, malicious, damaging, and not getting anywhere, not meeting them, not accepting, not presenting, getting a summary judgment.
Like it happen.
Yeah, getting damages and so forth. So we have learned over time to collate a list of about 5 different articulations of defence where we work through in order of your choice. We don't tell you, we're not a cult, but we are a fam and a clan. So we will work through, and the International Covenant of Human Rights will stipulate, I'll let you find it out, fam. There's 3 of them, and they work best together. Don't just get one. Try to collate them all and look at them. We'll look at these later when we do the watch parties on Tube, on Facebook, and upload them to Tube. We'll get back together and go through these little bite-sized presentations we're going to do. So your right as a human is afforded a person. So once you mention persons and so forth and point it out, you'll find that other parties suddenly remember and play ball, whereas you'll get a door shut, and you need to then show your substance over the form. And when you do that, generally 90%, 95%, you'll get the access you require by jogging of the memory for the one that's there. So we need to recognise, your will, your intent, and so you need to choose now. If you are an initiate, master of self and law, if you are sovereign, in effect, we've explained sovereignty, and so have other channels and other speakers, and you need to make a decision of who you are. I'm not going to tell you, and I don't think Kev is, but we will tell you who we think we are, and you can make an informed decision. We will show you the instruments and the way that we operate when a telephone call comes, a knock at the door, or a legal claim upon our, all caps, legal person. And we will talk about the natural person, and then we will be the natural flesh and blood living man, beneficiary of the land. So freeborn, and now settlor, grantor, and many other things. So ambassador, protector, witness for. When you talk about the Christian remedy, and we talk about that, and the KJV, it's a faith. And a faith is not a religion. A religion is for those that want to believe. If you have a belief, it's because you don't have the knowledge and the fact. If you don't know and you can't stand and you can't honour, then you will believe and be in a religious cult, and you will be told and follow blindlessly. You will be misled and led to the slaughter. I don't say this nicely. I'm just keeping a light, tone and moving it along. So this is why you need to make the decision, because out there they won't tell you what is what, and we will. So if you choose wisely, it's much like the Jedi code here, mixed in with that KJV and the biblical. It will take some enforcement, but ultimately you have to perform. You are required to perform, and performance is, to be there. So how you perform now on the world stage is how you choose. We won't tell you, but we will emulate what we do, and with the positions. And remember, persons and respect for persons, and grantor of dominion, and God and Jesus, Jesus saying, I am of this realm, but I'm no part of it. So there's great numbers of alleged deaths and reports. I've given up trying to keep note of the lost souls, alleged lost souls, and the assumptive, presumptive. identification of mortalities around the realm. Each country is on a lockdown. Basically, it's a continental lockdown. We have some form of medical, military martial law, but not with the presence of the military. But it's a similar scenario. And yeah, I'll let you speak, Kevin. I'll have a look at the room and shout some names, I think, for now.
Yeah, I don't know where it's going. Yeah, just want to acknowledge Jerry.
Of course, hey G,
How
man.
are you, mate? Yeah, always get aroused, excited. Something like that, Jerry.
Calm yourselves. Go
Is that
on.
roll? Is that roll as well? Leave my glasses on. Hang on, son. Right.
Let me see what we can see. New scribe, Rail Rexoris. What's going on? See the title, yes. Thank you for joining. Hello to the 20 watching. If you've got a comment, any information, something you'd like to bring up, ask and inform us about, then yeah, we're all ears. As I said,
Are you going stir crazy yet? Are you out and about? Are you getting away with it? Don't say too much. Who knows what's going on?
I want to read, whilst we're waiting, and we're doing this then, here we go with the armour of God, keeping in with we'll keep with the flow and the theme. This is a shout going out to a special sister, Nita, Nita, it doesn't matter, yeah, how it's said, it's whom and why. So we have a great post within the FB Famalan and clan. And I'd like to read you some beautiful words from Ephesians once I find the post and just express the intent. This is about intent, intent of how you read this. I've mentioned the armour of God before, and I've seen it written in Ephesians, but I wasn't able to read it to you in its entirety or whatever, because I like you to go on the journey of discovering, the journey of etc. and finding and checking, and because I know you 80% will check, you are active and you are on it, so you listen and you take. And if we wasn't speaking true, then we'd have a room full of blue men telling us that we are not, very good, and it's quite opposite what we've got. So just bear all this in mind, and I want to thank Nita again, just from the bottom of our hearts, because this is empowering stuff. And yeah, it's about time we got into this a bit deeper, and it correlates to the armour of God. So I've only got from 10 verses 10 to 17, so it's going to be Ephesians chapter 6 verse 10 to 17, and that will be from the New International Version, NIV, and we're looking at the armour of God from chapter 10. Equity, the king as king. All right, remember what we've said about this, and we want to adorn you with it, but only you can put it on. We can't give it you, we can't sell it you. You must find it and you must know it, as I said about what, when, why, where, who you are, etc. So we start. Number 10, finally, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. 11, put on the full armour of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. 12, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the power of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. So that's powerful there. You'll need to read that a couple of times, because I don't think this world is dark. It could be beautiful. We could have heaven on earth, but at present with the satanistic, it is dark. But spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Well, 13. Therefore, put on the full armour of God, so that when the day of evil comes, or cometh, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you have done everything, to stand. 14. Stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place. 15. And with your feet fitted against the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. 16. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith, and that's here now. You're in the church of faith, all right. You've got the faith. You got to have a faith, the faith, the faith. The shield of faith. It comes in many forms. It's you. It's your intent. It's your consciousness, being awake, etc., with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Now that's your legal liability, your legal person. You, man, know thyself. Yeah, similar, but interpretation is key, and it's not just for one level. There are many levels, and who's to say who's right? Exactly. It's what happens and works out there in the realm that we judge it by. The proof.
Work your way through the demons.
Yeah, and number 17, finally. There is more, but we're just keeping it brief, just enough to get you in the picture, and then the rest is over to you. 17, finally, take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. So the sword of the Spirit, and words and swords, you remember. So that's it, finished there. You want to get any more, then you know where to go and find it, okay? Reflections on that,
That's
Kev?
great, isn't it? Yeah, it's
Come on.
Absolutely great.
Reflections.
Some fine words there.
It just gives more credence to
Not a meaning, yeah, but it does mean a lot, you know, when you know what the book is. It's telling you everything, really, isn't it?
Just going to tell the got.com and FB that we are, we're having a chat as well. Yes, it's, you see, our faith, I'm a hermeticist, and I won't mess around with that, and that is to do with the order and chaos and the ancient Egyptian stories of the nun. And now, I didn't know at the time when I was composing and collating this data and reading that out on the video, that the quantum would back up. You see, we are deeper than just the belief, and we go for the knowledge and the truth, and we don't know everything, but we know quite a bit between us, and that's why we have this family of education. We're learning together, we're growing together, we're protecting together. It's not Dave and Kev, take on. It's you and I, Dave and Kev, everybody moving at the same equality levels, and we support and do what we can here. So it's about the natural progression of faith. Religion is binding. We won't go into that word and the etymological side of it. The Catholics, the Christian, all the different types of. They've done man no good. Faith is what works, and the faith is real. Like I can only explain it with the heart and the heart chakra, and the heart emitting, as you all are aware now, through various other peer-reviewed, non-academic, but still peer-reviewed. We'll say Greg Braden and there's a few others. I always say him, but there's I can't think, but there's many. Put the names in for those that deal in such things. And the heart emits this frequency, resonance, meters and meters. If it's positive or negative, it still emits it. If you're in fear and anxiety, anger and depression, or whether you're in positivity, blissfulness, contentment, security and whatnot, it's still emitted. And there's a cortisol, is it cortisol, Kev? Cortisone?
Yeah, cortisone, yeah.
Thank you. Cortisone, that if you will bear with me, is allegedly reported to emit along with that negative vibration frequency. So you can infect ones around you in a confined space, a travelling office, homes, if you're in frequent contact with them. And the power there that comes from that emittance of knowing thyself and what you are and how you are able to function is the negative side of it. You've got a positive side where you would emit the magnetic pulse and the vibration. And I'm not sure, I haven't seen written what in conjunction with the cortisol would be given is a positive side of that. I don't know, but I presume there is something. If there's a negative, there would be, to balance out. So you have your natural radiant vibratory heart positivity, and that means your cells and you are functioning well, and you'll never or hardly ever be at disease, and you won't need medicine so much, if ever, and you will be running at optimum performance, and you won't have many biological dysfunctions or diseases. The integration of external things to our bodies puts us at disease and lowers us down. So we have this fundamental concept of science and us, and we're learning a lot more about ourselves in intrinsically there with with the way that the heart and the energy and everything functions. And if that gets disrupted, the fields, then your cells get sick and you will have virus and disease. So it is a wonderful area where we're at with this armors, sciences, new ways, and appreciate it's not easy to understand, but there are many avenues for you to look at and research and find out about, whom and why and where, what we are and how we operate. And once you understand that, or you see differently, it's not about understanding, it's about being the option to see, and you have the knowledge, then you are more empowered. And it's been kept from us, the truth, the religion has done that with the indoctrination system. So the institutions, and what we've found is the non-institutions, the independent ones, are freeing us. And you are the ones that are written about that are going to free man with this movement. The whole of the countries are basically isolated and on lockdown. There's no international shipping of any kind, really. Aeroplanes are commercial, food and freight, I suppose. Not sure about gold and whatnot, so that's another story entirely. And other things going from
flying out of the country rapid, believe me.
Yeah, and airports acting, the military, the American military bases we have that are active as leapfrogging, lily padding around things that we can't see. So there is movement, but there's not much commercial there. So now's the time to think and discover and find, and we're going to help as best as we can. We're going to source and reference, everything as best as we can. And we're in a time where we're going to learn and grow together, for those that want to. And the religion is only is in the past now for us. It's only referenceable to articulate our current faith, and we're not here to test anybody's. And anybody of any creed, colour, on any continent can join this consciousness development movement, family learning. By generally 10 times, you'll hear something and it will stick in. So you hear us repeating. It's not because we like to hear the sound of our voices or we think we're big and clever. It's by proxy of your watching and participation. You will hear us over time, those regulars that are here, and we've programmed you back to the beginning. If you don't program yourself, so we're honoured and privileged for that, aren't we, Kev? I suppose.
Indeed. Indeed, we are.
We see the seriousness. We feel the expectations. We feel the responsibility. We haven't got a clear pathway to where we're going, but we know we're going somewhere new. It is a bit biblical on some extent and respects there, comparatively. There's a lot of Christian speakers running around now, not with not many answers, but just saying X, Y, and Z. To me, that's not really useful or productive. We're going to protect man. Just before the last bastion or the final battle, we've got concerns of doors being knocked and access through non-consent and under duress being gained and property being taken. That's for the UK legislative corporate overhaul that's been done under emergency laws, like Trump has done emergency, but not laws, codes and secular public, congressional and parliamentary enforcement there for our persons. So this is now why it's clear to myself, Kev, SPLS Pro, and others that are contacting us privately to give us a boost, because we need to pull together. We're not trying to scare anyone. We're not going Ikey, crikey, and all this stuff, but we are going, okay, we hear, we see, we're aware, and we've got a plan. And we're going to end up giving away anybody that wants one, a last will and testament gratis for free with no liability. You'll get it and you can contemplate it. It's great to have a will, and you can express that in many forms. We're not members of the Law Society. Remember that. We're not admirals. We're not military. We're not boat people. I'm not a Roman. I'm just, an Anglo-English Briton. I'm a Briton, and I'm a soulful tripart trying to do a job as instructed by the ordinance of above from the Creator with you. So we will give you the chance to consider and use at your own liability. But it's a document that I've used, and we're not going to give away something that doesn't work, but you can appreciate that we can't tell you what to do. And I have a different area of belief, which is law, natural, divine, positive. I don't wish to engage with legal areas. And I did say anybody that wants to have a chat about ecclesia trusts, the bare naked trust in Genesis when I say ecclesia trust, all right, that original one that's written about. So don't say CQV, that's just piffle. We go for the meat, leave the bones and the rest for others. The naked trust, the tree of knowledge, the tree of life, what went on there, which is, I say ecclesia, no, that's before the church. Sorry, scratch ecclesia. The creator and his creation, Adam and Eve, and the Garden of Eden, the tree of life, knowledge. Sorry, and what went off there? No church, no government, no Romans, no pagans, no nothing. It was just simply the beginning, allegedly. So it says there. Bear with. Because we've got others conflicting stories and stories of this before this time. So, I say this loosely, but for this part in law with the Romans and the City of London, Washington, Columbia Tri-Star State and Vatican, Capitol Hill, we have this story. So that's why we do this. And that was the naked one that they're telling you about with the creator. Then we have the ecclesia coming after that with the Caesars and the messiahs and the Caesar's messiah and what we've learnt there. And then the bankers, the Jesuits, the cardinals and whatnot. So there's your ecclesia bonding, the proclamations starting in 1300s, yeah, as we brought to you, which would be the CQV, Unum Sanctum, Lex Mercatoria, Eterni Regis. Wow, so many things like that. Look for them and you'll find in our publications and online. Then you have the legal trusts, which are not ecclesia and they're not from the creator. So that's your third area, you see. So then you got the Trust of England and Wales, the Trust of Legal UK, England and Wales Trust, Trustee Act 2000, and lots of stuff there, Probates and Wills Act and lands and registries and certain things. So be careful when you choose your will and how you write that, and if you use your person and which realm you're in, because it all depends when you create a trust, as we brought out with the babysitter trust, for example, that Richard Ansard of the Ansard clan gave me in a seminar, not gave but mentioned, and it was just simple, beautiful. You have mum and dad, the settlors, grantors, and the baby, the young star, and the asset, and it needs a babysitter. You have a sister, a daughter, a friend, someone on the street, an acquaintance, someone that's trusted, and you regularly use them. You give them a nudge, they come round, and you say, look after little Johnny, we'll be back here. When we come back, give you some money, job's a good one. They go out, the settlors, but they have granted the access to the property, which is in the res, verbally expressed in private, and the babysitter agrees, looks after, and parents have gone, babysitter is the trustee, the baby is benefiting and from that, so therefore there's your beneficiary. When the parents come back, the settlors, grantors of that trust and etc., then you've got it dissolves and all is well, the payment is done for the time, and then it's done. So that's not a contract, it's an agreement. It's not a contract because there's no paper. An agreement is a constructed trust, an express trust, and that's as simple as it is. So that's what we do every day. There are many other versions and variations and simple, to give you examples, but that's what Nita wrote there was very, very articulate about, how we see and how we're given clues, and we are to perform, but we are not told how to perform. We are assumed how to perform, but you can choose with your will. And so we got some information how to answer a door or not answer the door, and just inquire first, peepholes and inquiries before we open and grant access for various reasons. Okay.
Get out of the habit of just opening the door.
There you go.
If you can, just get a little spy hole, talk to people through the door. You're under no obligation to open the door to anybody. And then once you have, of course, it's a whole different kettle of fish.
Telephone.
Just get into that. Just change habits. So like answering the phone, isn't it? Oh, is that so and so? Oh yeah. No, just who's calling? Who are you?
Yes, it's nothing to do. It's just what would I say? It's nothing to do with hostility, but there may be somebody hostile on the other side of the door. So when we've got home invasions happening, or possibly admittance wanted, then visitors would be seen strictly by appointment only. Your castle, remember, an Englishman's home is his castle, allegedly. An Englishman's, Briton man's, private sentient settler, grantor, sovereign initiate self, etc. That's your castle. So if you choose to let somebody in willy-nilly, then so be it. But if you'd like to say that implied rights of access have been removed on the property, easement, etc., all around, and visitors are seen strictly by appointment only, then that's fine. That's within your right to do. If you've got even a door that's straight on a street, like a terraced road, and no driveway, no nothing, you can still protect that front, entrance. And telephone, yeah, when your telephone rings,
Yeah.
who's calling? Yeah, hello there, is that David? Always, who's calling? And oh, it's such a no, this isn't David. There you go.
If you don't recognise the number, I would just say don't bother answering. If it's important, leave a message. If somebody's straight, leave a message. Simple as that. That's how I see it. If you don't know the number, then
And if you're not expecting anybody to come knocking on your yard door, then you don't have to open it, really, do you? Because when you do, that's an unexpected visitor. You're not allowed to canvass as such door to door, are you? But you be careful on that one, because if you're not expecting anybody, then that should send you some clues. Somebody phishing, it's like on the internet, and you get these emails and whatnot, and stupid messages, and people phishing to try to see if you're going to give anything away. So we do have duties and obligations, and we do have to communicate. How we do that is again down to your choice. So if you accept calls to your line, guideline, sideline, marginalised, with these lines and ways that we have, then your phone line is not public anymore. Your phone line is now a private access, point of which is not public. So it's not to be used for public. You've got an email now instead. So for your agents that are hassling you and threatening and texting you several times and calling up from 9 till 9 in the morning till 9 p.m., you can send them a message saying that you remove the rights of access, and this is a private line. You give them an alternative contact, and you say this is trespass, harassment. We want you to cease and desist. The account's in serious dispute. Any further contact will constitute damage. By contacting me again, you agree, and you've broken the terms, and you've contracted into, harming me through trespass, torts, abuse, threatening behaviour. What's the other word now, with coercion, and this is just within your rights. So we're really going to ramp it up, aren't we, Kev, with the advice on some points there. Simple things. Before you get into the will, you need to know, and we'll teach you this. We'll try to educate you. We're not teachers as such, but how we do it, and then you can make an informed decision as to how you want to proceed further. And once you've done knocks at the door, strange visits at the door, and you've done telephone calls, and we're going to look at hospitals next for when anybody might, God forbid it, creator forbid it, have to go down there. We want you to be able to speak correctly, and we'll give you something to take, documents, PDFs for you to print and refer to, and then you won't get lost in it all, and you can refer back to it. So these are little things. They sound big, but they're not. We've done all of this, and we've done it effectively, and we've done it well, and others have emulated it and had success. So you want to reflect, Kev, on that?
yes, indeed I do.
Good.
Yeah, that's what we'll get this stuff out to you. As I say, a lot of you know it already. You can get a good idea from the master. Oh, Dave, help me out. What's it called?
The Masters Guild. We've got some documents on the .com and on Facebook.
There.
Yeah.
Just give you a good basic. Try to do some sort of scenarios as such. What might happen if Big Barry comes knocking to the door? How we'd handle it? Maybe.
And with or without,
what not to do.
With or without officers as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once you've learnt this this prospective way, then you will obviously work your way along a pathway of bite-sized installments and repetition. And because we make videos of them, you can keep watching them and look at the downloads you've got with the text, and you are free to choose to amend them, delete them, throw them in the bin, or ignore them. Obviously, if you've come and you've gone this far, then you probably are interested in some way at some part. So you can feel free to say, actually, boys, why have you done that? Why don't you? And if it seems feasible we will work with you, because it's not us telling you. We're not a cult. We will listen to you, and if there's an error, an omission, or something which could be changed and enhanced, then we'll do it. And much like I think it's Croatian engineers that have designed a new ventilator lung via a CAD file on a 3D printer. They've done it open source. So bless them, they've created something cutting edge, brand new, very cheap to make, efficient, and it can save lives. And they've gone, have it, everyone, because that's what it's about now. It's not these corpses and things are going. The profits are going. Access for all, profits for none, as Sheffield said via Matthew. And we've got these things done now. And then later, if any man, the title of this video, remember what it's called, doing all we can to protect man. If any man does get under threat and you are in our clan, our family, to some extent we have a trust. This video is in fact a trust, if you like it or not. It stands as one, and we're being watched and judged by the ones above to see if we're doing well, let me tell you. So you want to reflect on that, Kev? No? Do you see it like that or not?
I do. Sorry, I've just repaired my necklace.
Yeah.
All excited, so I'm just trying to clip it back on. Probably stupidly, but wake up tomorrow, I won't be able to move it.
Yeah, and like I say, you look, research secret trusts. I've done a video on secret trusts, and I give you a lot of case and point reference law there for nothing. I gave a lot away, and aware others wouldn't, and what the information power-wise has got. Just remember, when you're thinking about arguing with me, please give me good, I want arguments, but constructive, intelligent, honourable ones, because I'm not the master by any means. We have a Masters Guild, and we'd like you to work with us on that. But you will find a wealth of knowledge and power in the topic on the video and the document that's on FB, SPLs, and the .com, and there's a video on here called Secret Trusts. Incredible in a way, but dirty in another. So we don't condone that, but there are ways, you can see this system and what it is.
You need to see what's going on. You need to know what's going on to fight it, or at least confront it.
I'm going to look at the room in a minute, but first now we've just gone through all of that, I want to big you up again with a reference that I've posted on FB called Returning to the Halls of Amente. It's from 4 years ago, fam, all right? And I want you to remember the years, the 2012, the calendars, the cyclical cycles that we have, the astronomy, the astrotheology, the archaeology, and listen to these words. I've put the link in to the relevant places. I will give you the link now. Tim WHILD, all one word, Tim Wild, but with an H, .com, and you'd search for Returning to the Halls of Amente, and you look for Tim Wild, and you get this link. Respect to this man, brother. Here we go, and sisters. Today marks the opening of another powerful fifth dimensional portal here on Earth. These events happen continuously, with varying degrees of intensity, but since the blood moon shift, we are truly entering the higher flows. The summer months gave us a high stream of action energy that allowed many on the master pathway to build new bridges. The vibration that we are in now, integrating now, is one of complete reform. How many of you are feeling stuck and bogged down? This is completely normal, considering what we are really doing in our physical bodies. Remember what I said about the bodies and energy and these people there, divine matrix and etc. And remember, this is from 2014 as well, fam. Okay. During our waking day, we are creating a new programming of spiritual awareness for ourselves, and laying the foundation for many others to follow. Alongside that, we are changing at the very core of our structure. Our DNA has begun to change, and we can change that with epigenetics, and what we're looking at, certain metaphysical mentalization techniques. We've got Billy Carson is one speaker that I'm aware of, amongst Matthew LaCroix and a few others that are on about it's been seen DNA's changed by positive thoughts. I'll leave it there. Masaru Emoto, and water, body being 80% water, water having a memory. DNA is very, very much on the table. So our DNA has indeed begun to change. I'm going to post this link into FB because it's I've been gabbing all this time. Let me just sorry. There, our big DNA has begun to change, changing from the limited string of the previous paradigm to the expanded version of our selves, our present selves. Now, carbon-based life forms are becoming reliant on a clean source of energy, and this is the first step. As we attend to clearing our physical vessel of unnecessary junk, our spiritual bodies expand way beyond our rational comprehension. At night, many of us are attending to the many jobs and assignments that we have agreed to do. Indeed, we are. Here we are now. This is an assignment in front of the universe that Kev and I have agreed to do with you. This can leave us with the increasingly familiar interdimensional feeling that Kev and Dave and the nighttime owls of initiates known as jet lag. Between now and this full moon, remember it's some years old, this article, but between now and the full moon on Christmas Day, we were being invited to slow down and to integrate, much like present day. Now we are being invited, as Claudio and the rivers and the crossing of and the umbrella of the alignments of it's. You see Claudio's channel for that. I can't give it you all now, but this can prove challenging for those of us with commitment and busy lifestyles, especially at a time as time now seems to move as fast as we wish it to. So it's started. It doesn't happen overnight, and I believe we are in a pregnancy period just before the age of Aquarius here. All right, so as others have agreed with to some extent. So yeah, Kev.
I can't be pregnant again. I can't do that.
I'm having a pregnant pause here. The next full moon is the final and most illustrious fanfare of 2015. Our year ended with the opening of the Cosmic Christ Consciousness Portal. Search Magenta Pixie channel on YouTube for more on this. She's a legend. And this will bring the highest of the divine frequencies yet to Earth. Remember, this was 2015, fam. Preparation is indeed everything, and so is knowledge. When this light arrives, a larger layer of the fifth dimension anchors here on Earth, and it is our initiate self masters, scholars' job to keep the step. The full moon peaks in Glastonbury, England, Anglo-Britain, at 11:11 a.m. That's right, in 2015. Check the dates and times, and the planetary heart chakra, remember what I said about hearts and that, will anchor and distribute this light throughout the 5D matrix grid. Oh, I'm tingling as I speak, man. Those of us turning into this event will also have the opportunity to integrate these within these higher consciousness flows, the thought potentiality consciousness, aka the halls of a mentally. Search Edgar Casey and the Sleeping Prophet. I rest my case. The numerology of the Golf Mikey Tango is no coincidence either. That's GMT, time barriers now, yeah. Lining of time, lineage of timelines, more lines there. Time doesn't go in a line, it seems. But anyway, the numerology of the GMT is no coincidence either. Use this gateway to change whatever may need to be altered for the higher good of all. Many of us on the master, there's no R in master, I don't know why I say that, that's just programming. The master pathway have now established who we are and why we are here. Some of us are, yes, during the creation of our universe, the halls of Amente were built by Metatron. That's an archangel, everybody. If you research archangel, Metatron, sounds like a transformer, I know, Metatron, and Shekinah, which is Shekinah, Shekinah. to house the knowledge that we accumulate during our interactions. So those of you that get deja vus and consciousnesses of the future things happening, and they always seem to happen, you're connected to them. I move on. And not too much longer, but I hope you're enjoying this. It's one of the bestest things next to the armour of God in the same video. Every one of us serving the light here will have their own room, okay, in the first level of a mente. And it is now time to access this. There are physical entrances to a mente found at the foot of the Sphinx. Allegedly, Billy Carson backs this up, so does Van Daniken, and so does others that are non-academic. Found allegedly at the foot of the Sphinx. They run miles in corridors under the Sphinx, okay, these halls of Amente, where they were resetting DNA and golden big arches. This isn't all written in here, I'm digressing, but there's a lot to look at, fam. Stonehenge also has an entrance there. Machu Picchu or Picchu and the Tibetan mountains, to name a few. Oh wow. As the earth rises in vibration, I bet Iran did Iraq, because we bombed the crap out of that. I bet that's what Saddam was on with amongst it. When they say WMDs, remember Middle East and this technology, okay? They may not have been lying strictly, even though they didn't have nuclear WMDs. This man over there proclaimed himself as the reincarnation of King Nebuchadnezzar, I'll have you know. When I was researching, I went, wow. So
Matrix.
Saddam, your personal room in a mente will be filled with your spiritual heritage, okay? Nearly every soul on earth has at least one master lifetime in physical. Most of these occurring during the era of Golden Atlantis. Entrance to the halls of a mente is dependent on man's physical vibration, and the integrity of this sacred space is kept by the guardian. And what's his name, everyone? He's called allegedly Anubis, the heart scales man, yeah, dog head. At the fall of Atlantis, Anubis took the role of guarding the information that we had accumulated and has kept it safe until we needed it, unlike the libraries of Alexandria. These gates must be approached with an open heart that is filled with pure intention. Again, I draw you to the video title. This invocation will start the process for any of you, scribes, fam, new ones, don't matter who you are. If you like the sound of this and you want to join, I've got at least 10 documents you need to read on this line. And there's a lot of channels that have gone further than I have, a lot deeper, that can blow out. So if you've got any links on this, please put them in, because I might not have them all, and I'm eager to make a forum with it all, you know, referenceable in one place. These, and it's not everybody speaking the correctness. Some people are jumping on it and trying to use it to manipulate. I'll just leave it there. This invocation will start the process for any of you who are called now to re-enter this sacred space. Remember what I said about the angels and your time and the alphas and omegas waking up? Use it before meditation, all right? That's where you go, your safe place, or sleep, and see where the flow takes you. So I'd like you to try to imagine, if you could, well, go on DuckDuckGo or something, not Google, and search halls of a mente, click images, get one that you like, stick it in your mind, and when you go to sleep now, I'd like you to envisage those halls. Or when you meditate, I'd like you to put yourself in your Merkaba, protect yourself from, as standard when you're meditating, and then go into the different place. Don't put yourself in the white light in the egg this time. Put yourself in the halls. Let me know what go on. I'm near the end, everybody, not much longer. I want to give you something now, and you've got to say this 3 times. You don't have to say this 3 times, but if you do it, it's a 3 magic number, and it goes a little something like this. I want to do a scratchy beat from that DJ. I, David, call to the angels and the dragons of Atlantis to guide me to the gates of Amente. So this is when you're meditating, not just randomly in the shop line or something. Yeah, this is when you're preparing to, and as you're going into it. So it will need remembering to do with closed eyes. But initially, yeah, I understand you've got to learn it. To Anubis, I now offer my heart to be weighed for purity and light. To the keepers of the 7 gates, I now state my right of entry to the halls of Amente. In the name of Source, under law of grace, I now reclaim my heritage and bring my light to the matrix of earth. It is so. And it says, repeat 3 times with power and intentions. And that's from Brother Tim, who calls himself Thoth as well. Tim and Thoth, well, sorry, it's him and Thoth. And that was written in 2015. So there you go. I've finished. Any comments on that little beauty?
Well, that was most informative. No. Amazing. I like that sort of thing. It's not something that I get a lot of time for, so it's very interesting to me. Everybody else enjoys it.
Exciting, Kev. It's exciting to me. I get carried away with it, pal. To be brother, it's something that really gets me. Pyramids, when I was little, fascinated with, and now halls of Amenti and crypts and tombs and chambers and secret things and technologies that's coming out is right.
You want to go and see, sort of have a quick glance at the sort of the major stuff. Yeah, right, there it is. Thanks very much. Golf and see all the really interesting stuff that very little people know. Very few people know about. Go and see some real. I was like, yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Just float around doing that, visiting proper eye-opening sites.
Fast chat, hello chat room, keep it going. There's a lot of movement there. Look at them go. We're gonna struggle tonight, brother. It's gonna be look at it. It's moving fast. I'd like just to check the names and say we got Dom, Wendy, Jamie, Chef. Actually, sorry, G. I've seen you, Craig and Williams in the house. Celine, new one. Good evening, welcome. How are we? What we doing? Kev, you wanna bounce any?
Evening, everybody. Wendy, I see you earlier. David's in the middle of his narration, so I couldn't jump in. How are you? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us again. Jamie, Dom,
Paul, is that Chippy Paul? Chippy Paul,
yeah,
Tall Paul.
Indeed.
Oh, easy, geezer.
Craig.
There's Irish is in. Esther. Yeah.
Just going back to see. Make sure. Irish, how are you? S is in the house.
Who?
How are you, mate?
So yeah, that's there's more to come on that. That was just a brief, tiptoe into the halls of Amenti. There's hymns of Hermes. You've got the Kabbalion. There's various versions of the Kabbalion. The green emerald tablets of Thoth. Hermeticism in itself. Alchemy. It's a large, massive atom area. The creation of, when we're talking about the KJV and equity and courts and certain things, this is, I don't want to say it, but yeah, pithal. It's insignificant compared to what we've found and what was, and what we could potentially have. Waveforms, standing waves, linear, toroidal. I've done some posts on the FB book, SPLs, and I did 5 posts, each with 30 images. If you have got access to the Facebook SPLS Pro page, I'd like you to go and try and look at those 150 collective. Between them 5 posts of 30 pictures, there's some choice information and stuff that I've never shared up until this point. I've had it a while, and I thought now's the time while you have the time. So please, there's so much stuff to pick on in there. There's something for everybody, and it's all about this. So you choose and dip in and dip out, and then come back and let us know what takes your fancy or what your feelings are, such as Nita has done with the recital there from Ephesians about the armour of God, or the Creator.
That's just fantastic. Honestly, the more you think about that, with the Bible side of it, if you like, the KJV and that side of it, that's just really relevant and powerful, isn't it? When you understand what all that's about. And not that it's that difficult to sort of grasp it, but in that realm is what I meant to say.
Yeah, legal
That's
is the
really
undoing.
powerful stuff, isn't it?
The legal is
Yeah,
the
legal
undoing.
is exactly the undoing of God's law. That's exactly what it is.
And the life is in the blood. Remember the thumbnail there. The life is in the blood. So we got blood, we got life. We're not dead then. Don't think that's an insult to the Creator. It's an insult too. We're not saying we are anyway near. But what I said to Santos was, and he did, you got it on this channel to go back and check. I don't know which video and what part, but I did say, so then, with all this said and done, at the end of the day, when the DJ's stopped playing, the music's gone off, the lights have come on, it's the cold light of day, 7 a.m. coming out the club. The fact is that we come with Jesus as Christ in the legal realm, and that will protect us. Pretty much spot on. I'm like, wow, okay, then we've understood it well, and we got to the end, and he congratulated the work done, the interpretation. He took from us, we took from him. It's a two-way street. So honour and privilege, as it is, because he was a hero of mine, and to influence for us, for me, you, I, all of us as a family, growing and connecting together with Josh X and Sun and Moon. It's not Dave and Kev show. This is what I'm saying, and to go across to him and say to him, to Brother S of the Fibonacci fam, he loves that. It's apt and it's true, so it can stick. And he's saying that we're hoping it's a magical thing, and the universe overseas, and these figurines that we're giving you here, and these entities and these planets, and like Mars, Hermes, Odin, Thoth, Jesus, Buddha, my brain. Do you know what I mean? So they're watching, and it's there. It's almost like an interactive net that is, you can't lie to it, and it feels you and you feel it. As we've proven and as is being proven. So there is this year, I'd just like to remind everybody, we're still in April, it's the 4th month, and I think, it's got really big, really fast, and this is me saying this, that is fast and does big things, not the biggest, but I don't mess around. Kev don't mess around. We go in, we go all in, we go balls in, and we see what go on. So if I may just say, it's fast and it's crazy, and there's a road going to somewhere where we're not sure. And so what we do is we stop the speculation, we stop the arguing, we realise there's a problem, there's a serious problem, there's a danger and a real prevalent loss of life. The present danger is not funny. There's no true figures out there. Nothing adds up. There's a lot of presumption. There's a lot of assumption. Everything's cut off, and we're looking at further harm and loss and injury. So all we've said is, while we've got time and we're all locked in, we're going to get some videos going, we're going to do some watch parties, we're going to get interactive, and we're going to, under the Creator, summon the power of the life in the blood, and I will give my last breath to protect that and give you everything. And if we have to give a last will and testament, a codicil, and something away for free, then I'll do that, because at the end of the day, it's a £20 document. It's nothing, but if it protects a family and blood, do you know the blessings we'll get back from that? Each family that document protects, oh my days, the karmic kickback that we will get will be beneficial. That's all I can say. It won't be gold bars, it won't be credits and pennies, it won't be 10,000 members on the .com we've built. It will be far better and greater. So it's our pleasure to give to anybody that may want it some information and documents and stuff that we've used before. There's no liability, there's no in school and indoctrination. It's education, and it's to be given away under our sacred contract. And you can choose to accept it, leave it, or whatever. But anybody that tries to throw it back in our faces, by accepting to come on the course, the educational pathway, you waver all, because there's no harm we're going to do to you. So we don't want anybody to try to get clever. Locally embedded agents, this is for fam, if you're wondering where I'm going, okay, we have locally embedded agents running rife on all areas. So they will try to stop us protecting the blood that they are so dearly after for their chromes and drones, we'll say, and leave it there. So we recognise we're going to get attacked for this on all levels, and we will legally remove that liability, and we will protect ourselves with the armour of God, and we will forewarn by this disclosure, and it will be done again, don't worry. But anybody that chooses to come onto the free educational life-saving platform of protection from the pro creators at SPL's Pro, waivers all kickbacks there to us by coming on it. Yeah, does that make sense, Kev? Or can you word that better?
David, I doubt there's much I could word better.
Yes, there is. There is. Stop it. I will have
These
less.
subjects, mate.
Yeah.
Come on. Top front man, mate. Aiming to follow that. Now, you want to go on about DWP, I'll take you on.
Bless you, my man. No, I'll give you that. I'll give you that 20 quid later. For respect.
Yeah, no worries.
Let's look at the room and see what we
Keep
got.
hold of it. Yeah, it might be infected. I'm only taking credit cards, babe.
Yeah, we've got to. What we've kept. We've only.
Cashless.
What we. Stop it! Don't distract me. I've got something nice.
Oh no, I was just having a joke.
The reason we've kept things and we've put them in the private is one, it saves our asses, legally, lawfully protected, etc. It keeps prying eyes away, but there's some real, there's too much for the Facebook realm, and there's too much confusion, and it takes us a while to prioritise, to collate, to sift, to reconstruct,
But there's so much
to
change
summarise.
time as well, isn't there?
You got to summarise it comprehensively, and even when I try to comprehensively summarise it, it ends up in 138 pages, 100. So it's not funny, and we haven't done this to any other reason, like put it out of reach, like the Law Society have, or somebody put a comment in on the .com. I'll be careful what they said to repeat, but somebody, I think it was Jesus, if I may just say that, and they said about courses, or somebody said about courses for something were too much money. Oh no, it wasn't. It was somebody. It was about it had rabbit in it. That's all I'm going to say. And they wanted to learn. So I said, well, you'll be pleased to know that we have some information and knowledge of which we can give you, and we'll run through. And the document, which will be emailed as a PDF or downloaded from the .com or the Facebook SPLS Pro on Facebook, or our .com is where the prime download sources will be. I'm not emailing them out. You come to get them from where we put them, because it's just, you got to help us to help you. If we do this to thousands of people, we can't individually set emails or even group emails. It's the limit to each. So we just tell you where they are. You'll come to get them at your leisure, and you would download them at the end of the course. So we've promised you courses, and we've done a lot of work. Kevin's come along with Graham and brought some sterling critical criteria, and he's bust through for the last 2 years. They both have, and you've told us you have, and the .com has, and so has Facebook. So we must stand and applaud for Kevin, Graham and others that have come along and said, what about this? And now we've printed quite a lot of stuff. That was your courses. We have so much more to give, but we haven't the time or the resources at pres. We have to prioritise you, your blood, your assets. We've had a chat, Kevin, Greg and I, and we don't want loss. We don't want theft, harm, injury. And if we've got stuff that will help you, we'll give it you, but you won't get it until you are armed and primed. Even if you tell us, oh, it's all right, you can just give it us, because no, it's going to be released when it's released, and we're going to check it and make sure everybody's at the level. And then we will put it in the two places that we've said. One is a public, one is a private. They will both be the same document, and then you will choose how to format that and what status, standing and capacity you want to express your will as a trust, a private trust. And then you must look at the codicil as well, part of it, optional or either, depending on. These are in addition to what would be an irrevocable and a revocable, will, a living revocable will, a private, will as such for execution when you pass. So you can have a living one at the same time as having, your so your living irrevocable is closed, and when you die, so your living one is revocable while you're alive. You can edit and change it as much as you want. Normally by default, when a will is set up, it will be done irrevocable, sorry, let me get it right, I'm tired. And irrevocable, it can't be changed unless, by default, it will be set like that, unless you express it to be revocable, which is when you can go and change it and amend it. So you can have two. And we're not giving you two, we're just giving you the final one for when you're no longer with us and your final act and you're passing, at that time. So you can choose to look into these realms a bit deeper later on. But if this is your entry to it, language, instruments, positions, then yeah, we'll be pleased and honoured and privileged to take you on a trip, Kev?
Indeed, mate. Absolutely.
We've got time, let's face it.
But yeah, I was just thinking exactly that. It's just crazy, man. You know, I was just thinking. I don't. This isn't unusual to me, but even and saying they're sort of out on the roads and that. I'd like to go out just to see what it's like. But say everything's so weird at the moment, isn't it?
Medical, martial law, it would say. I'd say MML, medical martial law is what we're under. The whole realm, every continent's locked down, isn't it? Just about. So Sweden's still kicking. Where's Anders? What's happening in Sweden? Is Anders in? How are we doing? In Sweden, you're being watched by many, many thousands. Turkey, they said they're going to do a lockdown. 48 hours, bless them. Well, that's going to achieve a lot. But then again, if they know something we don't, then that will achieve just enough, maybe. Who knows? Yeah. Let's look at the comments, Kev, because it's been busy. It's 20 something, 27, and see if there's out that stands out. And
I'm right at the end at the moment, so where are you going?
I'm starting at the top and scrolling down. If you want to start at the bottom and work up, then we can both.
Yeah. Let's try and stick together.
All right then. Together. I want to be a tree.
Yeah. We want to be together.
Jerry, be smart about your movements and remember, everything you say can and will be used against you.
Absolutely.
That's a top comment right there, isn't it?
Absolutely, it will.
So when I said earlier, before you answer, you must think or try to think and then think again. That's why. He must have been about there where he said that. I'm surmising. He's a wise man.
Going to speak to them buggers. The only thing if you're going to say anything, is I do not consent to be interviewed. And that's it. Don't say another word.
Irish's comment. How's everybody dealing in my corona? My corona. Well done, Irish. Thanks for the humour.
Yeah, Irish. I'm not really. As I say, it's not really affecting me particularly. It's sort of normal to be in the house. I'm not playing it down for people that aren't used to being in the house. It must be a bloody nightmare. But to me, it's just. And it's another day. But but especially for people that aren't used to spending that much time together all of a sudden, do you know what I mean? Families thrust together.
Yeah, and a sunny day and everything. The less planes we've had, the more sun we've had, and now we've got these tremendous heat. Well, not a heat wave, but it's been lovely. Enough for shorts and t-shirts or a vest and a bit of gardening. Some haven't got gardens or verandas, and they're trapped here in high rises, and they've got to get out for a bit. I'm sorry, government, but they need to get out. It's a human right, if nothing more. Wow.
Haven't they just didn't Priti Patel just say something about a X amount of millions to help with the rise in domestic violence at the moment?
Oh wow, yeah, we did touch upon
sure I heard that today. Sure I did.
We'll see if anyone's got. See what
they've done. They're breaking it all down.
Has anyone got any info on that? Can you confirm or deny? Yeah, expand on. We'll see if they've.
Where did I see that? It was probably something probably just a video I clicked on Facebook or possibly on YouTube. Sure, it was earlier on though. The speech didn't she appear? Instead, obviously Boris is down. I don't know what the other knob's doing. So she was doing the update shit today.
Oh yeah.
I just happened to catch it. It's not say it was on YouTube, so it wasn't on. I didn't do mainstream. But it may have been something in Facebook that I went to, played the video for. But it was quite interesting. Have you seen that speech of Boris? Is it the UN a while back?
No, Oh,
That
bro.
was on Facebook. I'll see if I can dig that out. That was, it's interesting to watch, to hear what he says. But it's worth listening to it.
All right, yeah, appreciated. We got some info from.
Obviously, interpretation is a key point in it. But what he says is, yeah.
Go on then, let us know.
I'll see if I can find it.
Yes, please, get
I
a
saw
post
it
in.
on Facebook.
I'm going to work through these comments. We got some interesting ones. Keep them coming. Thank you. Jerry's got some comments about
Where are you now?
mortgages frozen. I'm telling you now, Jerry's got the comments of mortgages frozen. Info, paperwork, explain. Yes, please. Thank you, G-Man.
Yeah.
And underneath that is put in when you know what it means to be a man. Yes, I. And we've got 33. Sorry, that's the name. The covenant with the creator, question mark, this is nuts. And then G-Man's come back going, you lot, I love you to bits. This is brilliant. 33, with a name with 33 in, I would think you would be aware of the alleged other realms, yeah? Yeah, look at that. Has he just gone straight across the keyboard? No, if you look, that's a specific name. He hasn't just gone CH and whatever. That's on code with the number 33 in. And I say, I would expect you to know, unless he's having a laugh, but it's not nuts in a way. It's written in the New Testament by a pagan called Constantine that was baptized on his deathbed, a Catholic. Secret information. You're not supposed to know that, but there you go. Work it out for yourself. 33. Look at the Da Vinci Code and St. John the Baptist, Mary of Magdalene, the Ark of the Covenant, the Spark, and that's enough to begin with. I'll see you in a bit. I'm not insulting you. I'm just saying we've done a bit of digging, and it is nuts. I agree. I'll give you that. We'll sustain that comment. It is absolutely insane what we talk about sometimes, and we can't believe the words that come out of our mouths. Well, that might just be me, but
where it leads.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to take in. And even more if you know, how deep do you want to go with it?
Celine's posted a video link apparently of a man being forced to have a vaccine. Number one, poor shame, my weep as I say that. Number two, I suppose thank you for the link, because that's something we need to be aware of, and that's exactly why we're going to protect the clan and the fam starting from next week. I'm not volunteering, Kev, but I will start the ball rolling, and Kev can join in as and when is available, and I will do it midday onwards. You know, it's not going to be first thing, but it won't be lasting at night. But we'll try and get the peak times of boredom, and we'll see how we go there. So thank you, Celine, for that, and I'm quite anxious about watching it, but yeah, there we go.
Is that the American video? I've seen one, but I'm not sure.
Go on.
If it was true.
Videos are videos, remember. There just could be anything. Just because it's a video doesn't, and it appears to be fact.
I didn't think there was a vaccine ready at the moment, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, I won't be getting it.
No way, I will not consent.
Get fecked. Kent.
What's Chippy Paul asking? Is the trust on YouTube? What trust on you? What's trust where on YouTube? I need more data, Chippy.
Oh, bloody hell. I'm right there now.
11-11s, they love it. Yeah, they're listening to the numbers in the story of Glastonbury alignment back from. I know, we notice madness, isn't it? Yes, the things that speak out when you know these. That's what I mean. You notice you don't stand out to others. You stand out to me because you have the same interpretations. And why do they speak out? Well, I thought it wasn't until the other month. Digital clocks are like, look at 11-11. We always go to, where do we go? Digital clock. Also go to a chapter and a verse in the scripture, couldn't you? There, and You know, it's got many. See what I mean? Each thing is a different person has a different interpretation. It could say 11 as or 23 and all these other oddities and mixtures. 1113 for me and that. You know, it's incredible what we see and how we interpret that. But you see and you interpret, and that's enough. Yeah. Wendy loves the way we chat. Thank you. We love you. Thank you, Wendy. So we'll see, Celine. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm not saying it's true, but I will look. We're not here for fear. We're here to protect and give you solidarity, something to look forward to. Not, you know, hypothecate, speculate, and everything else there. We're going to calm and give you something, if you like, you know, if you want to carry on and watch videos of people allegedly being forced to vaccinate and that. If it's going off, we need to know. And thank you. We're not having a go at all, but this is exactly why we are casting tonight, with the vocalisation of our conscious intent, and we will do all we can to protect the man's property, star seeds, everything. I feel sick about it, Kev, to be fair, if I'm honest. I feel sick to my stomach.
Yeah, it's not right what's happening. It don't make sense. It's all a bit, all the unknown, isn't it? Yeah, it's got to be unsettling to people.
Breaking them, torture us.
Yeah,
torture
absolutely.
us. Not our farm. If we can protect them, we will protect them. Enough is enough.
They've got to show this was worth it.
We used to go out.
That's the problem.
Oh, don't. Don't.
What about all the businesses?
Oh.
They're all teens, and it turns out there was no. I mean, there's got to be claims.
More than that, they'll be shutting it down. The lot will go. The whole lot will go. I'm telling you. Not claims. There'll be that many to be go. We'll shut it down. It'll crumble.
Yeah.
It'll break it. We won't interface with it. We'll refuse to engage with it on many levels, I suppose, and we'll learn to manage ourselves and not contract with the devil. And, you know, we'll go to the lighter side. We have a light contract, a shadow contract, so we have a light side and a dark side, and we're all moving into the light consciously and physically, as much as they want to hide them with the fake clouds and the fake news and the, you know, agendas of, we've surpassed and risen above it. So take solstice in that. And again, to Wendy, thank you for being part of this family and clan, never mind channel. That's just a legal, you know, instrument that we use. This vehicle of YouTube, you know, is a vehicle for our message. So we're a clan and a family, but we'll let you off with channel. You can, you'll get to speak the lingo after about 10 vids. You'll be in, or maybe fewer. Comments again. I'm halfway down, Kelvin.
Paul O'Malley, that's a new name to me. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Jay Chef, you can donate via PayPal, and that's all insured, tracked, traced, recorded, refundable, and all of that. I know it's negative in many other ways, but you can contact me and do other ways to get yourself in. That's not a problem. So you'd email David at splspro.com and let me know, Chef. And we will, and for anybody else, inquiries too, contact at splspro.com, and we'll get round and inform you of options.
Other options are available.
Yeah, they are. It's soon they're going to be. We saw a post on the .com where the .gov is saying, yes, you can't discharge or pay bills with birth certificates and whatnot. No, you can't. It's the bills of exchange. That's exactly right. You can't pay bills with birth certificates. They're charges for one, and they are transferred via discharge or endorsed and etc. with the signature, endorsement, and many other things. But drawer, it's nothing. It's finance. It's bills. It's nothing to do with the certificate. Anybody that's trying to pay, wow, bless them. Imagine what the government get, on a regular basis in the inbox. People have heard X, Y, and Z, free man, Magna Carta, Constitution, and birth certificates are likely to come in there at some point. There'll be a group where somebody will be misinforming somebody and taking money, no doubt, profiting from ill-gotten means and sending people to the Treasury and the government to discharge and offset via kindness credits or birth certificates and whatnot. And it's not so much going to wash, maybe. It doesn't interface, it's not registered and recognised with them. And so they will just say, what, go on? What's with these people? We have private remedy under financial constitution, and we will argue that under insolvency, Chapter 11 bankruptcy, looks like we do with the courts and the Clearfield Doctrine, etc. Yes.
There's so much of it. There's pages of stuff that you get them if you want to.
Lord Denning was clearly tripping his tits off when he said that statement, obviously. Sorry, but, you know, kiss it.
Oh, he was a star. To do with him coming back.
The great spirit of...
No nonsense, did he, really?
Yeah, you're right there, brother. You're right there.
You know, but unfortunately, it's further infiltrated since his day.
Just read what they've put. You know, I was watching the people, you can't pay with a birth certificate. You can't pay at all, to be fair. You can only transfer, discharge, promise. And so they're not lying when they've put that post there, the .gov UK. We just need to get some clarity on the wording, the verbiage, and what go on here with what there. So, they, like the other day, I said to Anne-Marie, I went, that is wrong. That is a really... The BBC news reporter said, how many have been killed so far? I went, what? No, have died, passed away. Killed is intentionally. It's like in combat. It's like murder or death, manslaughter, etc. I mean, how many have been killed? But who was he talking about? I can't remember if it was nurses or if it was patients in the hospital or the updated figures. And I just thought, 1, how insensitive. 2, how unprofessional. 3, did he mean to say how many have been killed? Was it one of them 9/11 blunders where Building 7 trade just collapsed? No, it hasn't. It's another 5 minutes yet, you idiot. You know, how many have been killed? Oh dear, he's slipped up there. He's privy to a private conversation of which is subconsciously saying how many of, what are the numbers now for the nurses or the... I'm speaking of this with respect, but the word is there, killed. And I went, he's a BBC broadcaster, but he doesn't just get there from school on a bloody YT. He doesn't get to talk about those high-level numbers by chance. So why did he use that word there? It was, sometimes truth in plain sight. Just a change of a word, nobody notices. And madness.
As I say, the language, you just along the same lines, but look what they do with the code. Died with rather than died from with the COVID shit, That's a difference. Died with and died from. Huge difference.
Yeah, look at these words they're using. That's all I implore you all to do. Keep your wits about you, and each word, not that it's a hobby of mine, but you just get accustomed to it over time, and you're like, hang on a minute, that changes everything. That one word, not this one now, that I've just given you an example.
You just assume died with COVID. Oh, that means COVID.
Yeah.
That doesn't. It's died with. Didn't say died from it. That's what I mean. It's all in the language, and of course down the line, we would sort of told you.
Yeah, but nobody noticed. You don't know how to read and interpret. That's not our fault, is it? And the media going around hyping it up, as we've said, there is a reasonably high amount of deaths in various areas of little ones and elderly for asthma-related, cancer-related, pancreas, brain, heart, liver, kidney, all the 12 systems are failing continuously. As Kev said 3 weeks ago, at the very beginning, and Italy started to get high cases. It was this man, the living legend, sometimes I shouldn't call him a dog, but Big Dog Kev, now and again I like to say it sounds good, said that the demographic of Italy, Lombardy, elderly, heart problems, smoking, drinking, all the lifestyle, etc., then there's going to be a higher than normal landmass, population, continent size, etc. Then he's weighed it up and says that's not really above average, and I would expect that really in that kind of area. And Kev's not been... When's the last time he was at Lombardy, Italy, Kev?
must admit, I haven't been over there for a while.
No? Has it been?
I haven't.
Well, there you go. So it's been a while since he's last frequented it, and he's not privy to the current updated statistics and demographics. And then
But
3
I
weeks
think
later,
Italy in general,
3 weeks later, the BBC and News has come out and said what our man said here. They said, "Oh bless."
That's it. They got. I think Italy in general has got the highest number, the highest old population of anywhere in the world, and we know that nobody's denying this thing might be around, but it's at the moment it's probably it's not doesn't seem that nasty, but of course it's hitting the elderly, especially, and people with underlying stuff. That's exactly what the flu does.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
But the numbers don't add up for this to be called a pandemic. Otherwise, won't we have a pandemic over cancer? And
well, can we not? Again, it was the legend here, Kev, that brought out the post on Facebook for March the 19th. Do you care to continue, brother?
You got me, Colin. You have to help me a bit more my age.
As of March the 19th, the UK government reclassified the HCID. Over to you, bro.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, they downgraded it from a highly contagious, is it infectious disease?
Not virus, disease.
It was absolute low risk of that, low mortality.
Yeah.
That was on the 19th.
.gov UK. Yeah, not Facebook, not YouTube, but .gov
it's not
UK.
Facebook. Yeah, this is on the government site. You can go and see it. It's still there, I believe. We posted it on SPLs, but it's easily verifiable. And we went into lockdown 4 days after they downgraded it. And it hasn't been changed. It hasn't gone back up again.
Some have argued to me that, that's because we didn't know what it was and we didn't understand it, and X, Y, and Z. I went, well, what do we know about it now, and how do we understand it better since then? I don't really know. That's not... It means...
You can't catch a virus the way they're saying.
Well, wait. You've just said HCID.
Sorry, all right.
You've just said HCID. That's not HCIV, as in virus. It's D for disease.
Yeah. Crazy. Listen to the language. Yeah. So what is it? Virus, disease, fucking see?
Yeah, I just thought, hang on.
See, they switch about with the language. Bloody legalese and everything.
Yeah, respect.
Sneaky buggers. You gotta watch them saucy seafaring pirates.
Chippy Paul's loving the train of...
language.
Sorry, brother. Chippy Paul says loving the train of thought. He's on the night train. Ding diddling, ding diddling. That was a good classic as well.
At the end of the
night train. That was a classic.
Where are you with comments then?
I'm 3/4 of the way down page, lad. Way down page. Yeah, we're going through them. We're going through them like no tomorrow.
Isn't it?
It is.
Packing on in there. Fair play to you all.
Anybody for a stiff drink, a nice milky coffee, hot chocolates? It's about break time, I think. It's going to wet and... What did you do today? Anybody do anything? Barbie?
I did.
What did you do, Kev? What went down?
Oh, well, I've got lots of new toys to play with, you see, but I've got some stuff to do before I can properly set everything up. So I've managed to get motivated today and do a steady, quite a steady couple of hours, but I've got a lot done. So I've got a great sense of achievement from that today, believe it or not. That doesn't sound...
Carry on.
Here we go.
Carry on, that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, so I thought I managed to get something done today, a little bit more than usual, but took it easy, obviously. But yeah, nice sense of achievement today. So see how I feel tomorrow. I might do a little bit more. I can get all my toys lined up play.
Yeah. Good lad. I had my solar panels out, filming bees. I was in the garden. I was testing stuff, different inverters, how many
I saw the
appliances.
bee thing.
Chewing on a wasp.
Yeah, I had one while I was when I went into the loft.
Oh,
Big beast one coming there. It was confined enough, so he got helped out by my hat. Straight for the bulb in there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
I like it.
Sorry to distract while I continue on.
All aboard the night train.
That's it, last one. Kev, are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
Yes, of course I'm here. I haven't left
Went incredibly quiet.
yet. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just looking in the room, actually, mate. Lisa, Simon, a couple of names I haven't seen, and Mr. Benson's in, Cleveland.
Thank you, Wendy, for the comment about like buttons. Yeah, if you do like the content of this video, if we've given you a laugh or something to give,
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, please
Thank you, Wendy.
share, let fam know. We'll help. We'll get anybody, as many as we can get on a watch party. And then you see we've lost the live ability on here until me and G sort out server casting embedding from the .com and then coming out from there rather than on here. I'm not going to integrate third-party stuff when we can perhaps do it ourselves. It's going to take a while, so we have to find a workaround, and then we'll be in the room as we play the videos and we'll talk to you live as we did there. So we're pretty much done already, and we have the live aspect recorded, so that will be excellent for others to see and hear. So if you tell them in advance for next week, as it is Sunday night, all right, then we'll say this Wednesday, and then it will come to Tube probably some days later as we do each module or area. We'll see. So again, we don't know where we're going or how we're going to do it, but we'll get there and we'll do it. So just bear with, and we'll say about Wednesday midweek, Kev, then, so then we can get some time to plan and see what we're going to do and how. Yeah, it won't take a massive amount. I'll do most of the admin side. I just need you there as a, you can help out as well, obviously, and input. But if
I'm here.
yeah, that's it. I'm not putting on you, but if you're available, then we'll both do it, and then we'll go and present. Yeah, and obviously role play will be a key part there. Maybe we can do some role play and doorway, telephone.
Can I dress up too?
Answering the door on the telephone, these kind of things initially, conversations, doctors, etc. Hospitals for that kind of scenario.
Well, there's different possible ways to handle it as well, isn't there? That's the other thing. You can't just go, right, this, do it like this.
No.
There's lots of different ways you can handle these calls. You can be abrupt. So, who are you? Who are you phoning for? No, thank you. Goodbye. But there's other ways too. So yeah. But yeah, we'll get something sorted out.
I am Indy, and I am not Indy. Hello, this is Indy Glow, and I am called David. Wendy, and the other man there is Kev, if you haven't worked that out. So the speakers are I, David, and that man, Kev, living legend.
Living leg end.
That's the one, yeah.
It's a mispronunciation. Got a hyphen in it.
But thank you, sister. We appreciate that.
Yes, thank you for your comments.
Dom Dowd's comment. Look at him go. Thank you, Dom. That's brought a smile to me boat race. He's right at the bottom, that one, nearly. Yeah. No, it made sense. Why do you think? We've got a new man in the house, Carl of the Butterworth clan, and he says in Leviticus chapter 17 verses 11 to 14, why do you think ancient Greeks drank blood? It's twofold. I'm going to go straight from ancient Greeks to Genghis Khan and Attila the Hun. I think it might be the latter, but I do believe there's something about Khan there as well that I'm not sure. Each dynasty, and I can't articulately now at this time go through all of that, but I'm sorry everyone, but there's claims there for the blood of drinking in like vast quantities and swimming in it. So yes, the Chinese and red and proteins and things and bodies and humans, and I'll leave it there. It's not pleasant. It's not all about death either. It's just about the collation of certain proteins, bloods, enzymes, and ingestion. Certain tribal mans have the belief that eating a penis of an animal will bring you virility, or eating its heart. You know, you become of the age of the tribe, and you know, village leader, tribesman, witch doctor, etc. comes up to you in your initiation time. You've got to go out there and live for a month. But first, you're going to eat this testicle, this penis, and this heart. Once you've eaten that, you know, you get your heart, your whatever, your warrior status, and you go off now. And if you come live out there, whatever, it's not exact, but you get me. So what was it? Mel Gibson's Apocalypto. Hands up if you've seen that. Enough said. Yeah.
Yes.
Enough said. So we see, we know, and we appreciate. Why do the mind boggles why they do some of these things, but scientifically, alchemically, spiritually, we can see, yes, and we are aware. Brother Carl, thank you for bringing that up. Sex and magic, dirty, gates everywhere. That's all we'll say. Seventh triangular number, lol, 28. I'm using them to type. What's Chef on about that? Oh, brilliant. Amen and amen, bless. God is pi from Chef. What are your thoughts? God, when you say pi, that's Pythagorean, yeah? So you've got pi, you've got the golden ratio, and you got Fibonacci, the three main areas of mathematics and algorithms of which we would look at and use, or know of in life in the realm. So pi is also, yes, in mathematics, to do with a circle as well, and it's the ratio then. I'm saying Pythagoras. So when you say pi, I need clarity. And when you say which pi is God, because when you're saying the creator and God, it's a serious subject. So do you mean the mathematical 3.14 to do with the circle, or do you mean the Pythagorean even, I can never say that word, to do with that and the fifths and the octaves and the alchemical side? I think you mean the latter, and I'm kind of inclined to agree and say with where we are now and what we've learned, it's close to, with the others that I mentioned, the golden ratio, etc. Then, well thought. I like that, Chef. You're seeing with new eyes, or clearer eyes, maybe, if that's right. Celine's looking forward to the interactive videos. Knowledge is power. We give thanks to the family. She's put something else, but the .com, the family and members of course, Kev and Dave. Top geezers, Kev.
Top geezers. Cheers, Trigo.
He's a real crowd pleaser. Ebenezer good. He's a good. Is it something like that? He's a geezer. He's a real crowd pleaser. He's a good. Sorry. You see, programming.
Prodigy. Go on, Keithlin.
No, he's a good was the other one, weren't it? Naughty.
Yes,
it was very naughty, man. What was he called now? Who was that? Even I can't. Shaman, yeah?
Yeah.
Shaman. There we go. It's all in the name. Shamans.
Oh.
It's loosely linked to this. You are all shamans, herbalists, etc. Yeah.
Herbal.
I'm at the bottom. I've made all the comments.
Have you? You've done the lot. Right at the end.
I'm down
Fair
now.
play.
I'm at bottom, lad. Thank you, Dom, for that. It's when you say David's research, it's a combination of many years of everywhere. So I thank you for what you've put there. The room's just jumped a bit. I'm going to get back now to where I was. I said I was at the bottom, Kev, but that was a lie because I got there and it updated and now I'm lost.
Okay. I've gone back a bit.
Yeah,
But mine's a bit slow updating at the moment as well. My eyes are buggered.
131. Look, that's why. Yeah, that's all right. I'm going
hell.
as well.
Is that what it is again?
Good Lord.
It flies by. Well, we did have a go on the other one as well, didn't we?
2 hours there, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we're just going to do 45 Oh, my God.
We're not even getting paid or anything. It's all for free and just about anyway at this minute in time. And yeah, we love it.
Well, it's
Mad for
mad.
it.
Yeah, it's nobody there. We'll do about 30, maybe 45 minutes. Yeah, well, yeah. 2 hours later. And I think there was a 40-minute goodbye on earlier. Sure there was. At least. We sort of faded out and then brought it back in again.
Well, I thought it was at the bottom. I've just found Dom's comment about research, and that's 3/4 of the way up. So we're well behind here, and we're not going to get.
I can't even. Right, I'm going back.
It's all right. I'm just
Try and
saying that
find
we
the
might.
Dom comment.
We might not get through all of the comments tonight, but this morning we'll have a good go.
I'll
Kev,
just-
you are free to go if you're tired or you whatever, or stay
No,
on.
I'm
And,
alright at the moment.
yeah,
No,
man.
I don't mind doing a little bit longer if that's what's going on.
Good Lord, yeah. And that comment from Dom, so it's a collective research of countless videos, hundreds of channels, tens, well not tens of years from me personally, 15 from me. Roughly 07, 05, 07, getting hardcore into it, and now we're in 20, sorry. So, yeah, and it's yeah. Thank you. I give that back to everybody that's sent me anything and that we've interacted with Graham and Kev. Everybody, all the channels where we've been. We're trying our best.
We are evolving all the time.
It is crazy.
Oh.
Crazy times.
It is. It is. I hate to think what's going to, once all this nonsense straightens out, I hate to think how bad it's going to be.
I know, well, not for us, but for some, yes, if we don't take action and...
Well, I think it might be in a lot of situations where what we know will come in useful is to do with correspondence and
yeah, law
conditionally
comes into...
accepting this and asking some questions and getting some proofs and making sure you're not getting shaft A, as they say in French.
Hello to Menza, who I just seen join there in the chat somewhere down. I'm sure I did see him. I'm skimming, Kev. I'm just working the way down so I can see.
Yeah, I'm just sort of going back a bit. To be honest, I haven't got a clue how big room. I know there's a lot of chat, so I haven't got a clue where I am in relation to. Oh, that's up there.
Stuart is doing some gardening. Yes, I. Keep him busy in the garden, that's it. I planted some carrot tops and some radishes that I went in the fridge, and Anne-Marie, these radishes have got roots coming off them, we're not eating these, and she went to throw them away. I went, we'll plant them and see what go on, just in case. Showing Yanka what to do with root veg and that. Bit of science, gardening.
Yeah.
Truthstream Media, we were warned, has good info. Thank you, Menza. I will look at that after the cast as I melt away into the morning and sleep.
Lisa said, Kelvin, my little jailbird. Yeah, I know. Oh, sorry, Mum. Got caught again, didn't I? And do you know what? You know who caused it? You won't believe who caused me yet. Hitler. Bloody Hitler it was. Give me ag, he did. He's pesky war, still been dead for years, allegedly. Still gave me grief. And do you know what the ridiculous thing was? Yes, it was a post with Hitler in it, doing a speech, but the speech was of a Liverpudlian doing a speech about social distancing. It's actually a serious post.
Yeah.
It was quite serious.
Stop it.
And
you're not in court now, brother. You're with fam.
I got a 24-hour ban, right? A 24. It started off with that. And I thought, well, okay, but then loads of my other friends had posted it. None of them got a ban, bastards. And then 3 days later, I got this. There was a post that was basically the 20th Century Fox. You know, the beginning of the films and that with the floodlights and all that, and the music.
The fanfare, yeah.
Yeah, the fanfare, but it's all the fanfares off key, and it was a bloke playing the fanfare off key.
Oh, with the flute in his bottom.
With the flute in his bottom, yeah. His arse. And here's the funny thing: I was sitting there and I thought, oh, I've got to post that. That's really funny. I pressed post, and I was instantly banned. It didn't even get posted. They were poised, the bastards, waiting for me. They were going, go on, we dare you. So I did, and then they shafted me for 3 days.
Hello, Cleveland. I'm listening. I'm just moving on because we've got a lot to work through, and I'm aware of that. I'm no comment.
I don't even know where you are on the list.
It's all right. It's all good. You go to wherever you are, and I just want to say hello. We all say hello to Cleveland. Welcome, and don't apologise for being late, but I like the Psalm 91 reference. 100 lines has been issued by Jerry for Cleveland. Blessings to all. Thank you for joining wherever you are.
Oh, right where you are now. Yeah, we're there.
Wendy said that there's not many channels talking about what this one is. Y'all are truly, truly a blessing. Thank you for loving each other and helping. Who are you, Wendy? You're so lovely. Where have you been all our lives? Is there any more of you? Can you bring them? Not that to insult the others. I'm just saying we could have a positivity injection. You've made an impression, made a noise, and I think the room and I and Kev appreciate your comments is what I'm saying. Normally we get along well, and we get interactive, and we do this all the time. So if you're liking it, and you want to come back, you're welcome, love, sister, as we say. Sister. Kev?
Yeah, I really appreciate the comments, Wendy. Thank you. I do believe Wendy's stateside. Not sure whereabouts. Secret.
Simon.
Secret
I
bunker.
see Simon Martin there. Hello. There we go. Another one's dropped in and picked us up.
That's really nice comments, Wendy. Thank you. We're pleased that we're resonating with you. We hope that continues.
33, sustained.
Simon.
They cannot... Oh, sorry, go on, Kev.
I was just saying hello to Simon, just as I'm trying to guess where you are as well.
I'm underneath that nice comment from Wendy in capitals, halfway down, roughly, in the chat thread.
Sweet.
I'm going to say to 33, sustained. They cannot stop the truth. Big up, Mr. Menza. We agree. Thank you. Yes, I. Blue. Let's get you in some blue there. Moderation. There we go. Get them all back
Paint
up.
the town blue.
You're welcome, chef. He's put brilliant, thank you.
Excuse me, people.
Well, when I saw, can I just say, when I saw the return of, not the return of the Mac, we're not going Mark Morrison now. We're going.
You sure?
Let me get the name right. Harvey Kissinger, is that it? Henry, which is it? Kissinger.
Henry.
Yeah. And Bill Gates together recently. I went, what? Warning, warning. Whoop, whoop. Oh, I went all fuzzy and red and couldn't think and was like, that's not good. The shutdown, reboot. One of them moments, I'm afraid. I went, that's two men you never want to see together in the same room. Picture, sentence, contract. And Bill's got a knighthood, has he? Kissinger's on the... I'm not trying to scare you. Research Bill Gates, Harvey Kissinger, and see what both of them men are
Don't
about.
research Bill Gates. That'll make your skin crawl.
It was almost as bad as when I seen that Tony Blair was back on the... well, not back. He's always been giving out advice. What? And getting listened to. Just insanity. These when we say the devil looks after his own in some ways, I don't believe Kissinger's done anything good. You know,
No.
another example would be, here's Obama, let's give him a peace prize before he goes and starts countless wars and kills thousands of, have a peace prize. What?
It's all bullshit.
He only just got into office. Yes, well, you don't know what he's about to do. We're going to award him before he does it because he's ordered to do it. He can't say no. Wow, sorry everyone, I'm not making light of it, but there you go again.
Look at the geezer at the head of the WHO, the Egyptian, for God's sake. Go and have a little Googler or duck go around about him. Look at his human rights record in his own country, what he did. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well said, fam.
And he's the head of the WHO. You can see all this evils in all the strangest positions. And it is evil. Yeah, go and look him. I can't even think of his name. But go and check him out.
I want to speak.
About what he's,
I want to speak about Carl's word. Yeah, well said, my brother. Carl has said he's preaching again, but it's fine. It's for translation. It's to do with your faith. Matthew 10:28. And see what I mean? Just like a digital clock to me, but Bible references as well. 28 minutes past 10. I'm not saying it's anything relevant, just and I'm not the first to make that correlation, but and fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Carl. Wow, that's made me a little bit shivery and think of a judge sentencing, to be fair, amongst others, not exclusively, but kill the soul and the body, and giving credence to what's happened to the doomsday clock, Cleveland. It's been reset, it's run over, it's been replaced. I don't know what has happened to it. Is it a thing? Do we need to be bothered by it? I'm not having a go.
What was that? Sorry, can you repeat that? What was
what
that?
Has happened? What has happened to the doomsday clock by Cleveland?
Oh, well, it's still
2 minutes to do. Is it still 2 minutes to do?
Yeah,
30
it's still
minutes?
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we've moved on, but calendars.
Yeah, Benson, that Kissinger is dodgy. He's horrible bloke all through. They're all dirty. So you can see the evil. It's everywhere, but there's some dark souls out there, and they're Gates. Who's made him king of the world? Oh, Bill Gates said we better vaccinate everybody. All right, okay then. Every country in the world. Let's do that then, because Bill said.
Yeah.
Oh.
Simon's good
If
comment.
I could stop the world, right, for some time, I'd get one of them Barretts, and I'd just stop everything, and then if I could just move about, and I'd just go, and then I'd be so busy just blowing people's brains out, and then I could start the world up again.
No, Kev, that's not for us to do. That's not for us to do, my brother.
Oh no, don't get rid of all these evil. Yeah, just go and kill them all.
We have to round them up, put them all somewhere, collect them, and we'll let them live their time out.
Them.
And let them live their time out, and let the their time will come. They will be judged. But I know what you mean, and I'm not defending them in
Give
any
them
way.
a fair trial and hang them in the morning.
Yeah, like they do us. Simon's come out with something positive to Celine in the room. Mandatory vaccines are unenforceable. He's touched upon something we mentioned earlier and previously, religious exemptions and the international covenants on civil and political human or rights would be human rights because that they're political and international, so it's human rights. Rights in legal law can be used, and testimonials from PhDs. Dr. Daisha, thank you, Simon, for that.
Oh, look, Men's got the right idea. We could, for want of a better phrase, and I hope maybe we could become like the new Mengele.
Say that again, please, my brother.
I was meant to just said that. He just said torture them first, then slowly kill them. So I was just trying to make a joke, a little bit gently.
You just don't learn, you.
The Nazi Dr. Mengele,
I get you.
who was doing lots of experiments on people, especially children. Not that I was especially picking out children. I was just thinking.
Yeah, I know,
Talking
brother.
about torture,
Yeah, he's
I
an
thought,
evil.
yeah, we could do that to them.
He would be an evil one that would be, candidate for.
They'd inject acid and shit into brains, these kids that are living and also,
Thank you for that. We'll stop there and move on to Dom's comment, which says, isn't a last will and testament a good alternative for a live birth cert? There's somebody else that's thinking outside of the box articulately. I like the way you're thinking, Dom. I can't argue with that, because if man, let me think to that saying, I think, therefore I am. So if you are thinking, you are using your will. You're using your will, therefore you are. You are what? You are incarnate, you are personified, but you are not personified. You see, that's a trick word there. You are in physical form. There are many words. I'm not going through it now. I'm just going to agree and say you have hit the button right on the head. You can prove there is a will, and also I've mentioned about probate and intestacy and different things, and when you go into the court and your estate and what's happening and what positions and your status, standing and capacity. So again, it enforces it in other realms and makes you into a different area. If you like, does man have the capacity to get a legal charge? The answer is no, because man doesn't have the capacity at all there. Persons do, those being all caps legal, and then your natural person. So those persons are susceptible at them levels, I would argue, and well noted. I like that style of thought, that train. The night train. It's going strong. No, it's done. I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying it.
I thought he's just queued himself up there. He's been waiting. He's getting all excited. I can say it in a minute.
The comment about the UN ununiting nations since their existence, they're wanting to take over control of the birth certificate. Allegedly, Jerry's pointed out with the push up on digital ID 20. We've been invited to speak at Truth Juice in Birmingham by a scriber emailer called PJ. I've said to PJ, I'm going to nudge them tomorrow and say, yes, we'd like to come. Not right now, and I presume they might be like everywhere else and providing video feeds or connections and, equivalent to webinars to do this. So it may be that myself and Kev, or just me, if it's not interested, or can't for some reason. Or
shut up. Of course I am.
I know. We'll try and get on to Truth Juice. So if there's any scribes out there, fam, that has them connections, a brother called PJ is trying to make it happen. That would be an honour and a privilege to go to Birmingham. All right.
Oh dear, what happened there? Not paying attention to my age.
Oh, Lisa, thank you for that. Sorry, Kev. It's insane, she says. It's insane. The big box stores cordoning off areas in store considered non-essential. So when what you're saying there is in the access points for food, they are now showing you that these aisles are no longer deemed. Oh dear, oh dearie me, there is a problem there. That's not cool. How dare they dictate what
I
sustenance?
saw,
Wow.
you know,
Wow.
seeds and stuff, as in
Whoa.
vegetable seeds, and are all blocked off to people and stuff like that.
Well, we'll go online then. We'll find other ways. Take note, everybody.
I'm just saying what I saw in pictures.
Take
I'm
note.
not saying it's the end of the world. You
No.
can't ever buy one again.
I didn't say you said that. I'm saying in reference to everything, we'll just go online. It's not a problem, you know. And if that gets stopped, we have another problem.
Everybody, that's it. Let's all pool a shitload of money, just buy shitloads of vegetable seeds, sit on them, have our own seed bank, quick, for they all turn to be moody GMOs.
See you later, Wendy. Thank you. If you're still there, she's gone, but she'll be back on the replay. So hello again on the replay, and goodbye for belated when you went.
Hi, Wendy. Thanks for popping by again. We really appreciate it. We appreciate all of you.
Cleveland, top comment there. Why is a natural virus, disease, ageist? Good notice and comment there, yes.
What you mean, just like the flu is and the common cold? Doomsday clock, yeah, that more made up crap. Oh my God, they've got an actual clock, yeah. What happens when it gets it? They create something.
Common cold is caused by coronaviruses and rhinoviruses. Exactly. Yeah, that's what Menza said somewhere. When Lisa, underneath where Lisa was saying, who's the ultimate decider and considered essential to anybody?
Been around a long time. And, you know, this thing about it jumping from animals, that takes an awful long time for that sort of shit to happen as well. And who knows? There's also info out there, if you come across it, that's leaning towards them getting you to think possibly that it's going to go off between probably the rest of the world and China, because they think this is lab. They're now saying that the Chinese had their first death in November from it, so that's when they knew, and they were still allowing flights. And so, but you know, it's about, you know, they all like to point fingers, so, you know, I'm not saying it's true, I'm just saying that is some of the information out there. I would like more information on that, as I say. I don't know if you've heard it, there's talk that it was done by China to do exactly what it's done, was shut down the economy, so
yeah,
that they were then in a very strong position, have been buying up stock. If you listen to certain places, I say, I can't confirm or deny any of it. There's too much information, but who knows?
Patent, yeah. Stu there has put December the 20th, 2019, Billy Gates tweets, next for our foundation, ? I'm particularly excited about what the next year could mean for one of the best buys in global health, vaccine links to COVID-19. We did notice that, Stu. Not cool. Happy Easter from Cleveland, New Year, Easter.
Yeah.
End of Lent was just at the end of the 40 days of Lent, numbers time, and thank you, Chef, for them numbers above. I can't deal with them now, but I will look at them later. What was Lent? Yes, 40 days, Quattro, quarantine, and into Easter, yes, after Lent. These comments. I am fading though, fam. We are going to have to end pretty soon. It's nearly 2 a.m. UK GMT.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's getting a bit late. know it's weekend and all, but I'm going to have something to eat.
A hornet, not a wasp. Yeah, not to eat, but yes, it was huge, and I did enjoy filming that. I got a bit close, and I put the voice of David Attenborough on and called myself David Bellamy. If you noticed, a bit of a bit of a weird one, but David Attenborough, David G, David G, David Attenborough, and David B. So there we go. Too many Davids in here. That's all I can say there.
G. We made the connection last night, everybody.
Don't tell them.
Last
That's
night,
private.
yeah, no, I'm telling you, mate. I'm telling them all the true connection. Dave is mafioso, proper job. We traced him back. Traced him back to Sicily, for sure. So he's now Don Giaramita. La Cosa Nostra.
Scappare. Yeah. Just lineage, yeah. I put a post on about Castle Vetrano, Sicily.
Next time I see you, does that mean I've got to kiss your ring?
No, just the 3 kisses is enough.
Oh, okay.
As always. You chimp, bless you.
You see, you'll be wearing one of those those stones they've been putting about there saying, oh, look, if you notice all the people we think are doing adrenochroma wearing these type of rings. Have you seen that post?
Yep. Yeah. A club, some kind of club, so they can be recognised at parties and know that they can get a... Oh, dear. Oh, secret, yeah.
Well, like the Red Shoe group.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I want to. Is it repeatable?
You know enough that you're not sure you want to know anymore, don't you?
Not at this time, yeah, maybe. I don't know about this.
I'd like to know how true that is about the Red Shoes.
Yeah, we get the substance, the evidence, and the form. So, Night Train by Visage, much better. Carl, legend. Thank you. I'm gonna have to queue that up soon. I'll remember to come back and check that. I'm getting to the end.
That's right. That's absolutely right. They ruined his career over it.
Go on.
Because he weren't buying it. He said as much again just recently. He meant to. I probably don't have to tell you that, but I did. So there's a can, and I'm trying to pad this broadcast now. No, sorry. So, yeah, the eggs. Yeah, they're in the post. The eggs, definitely. You still there, David?
Yeah, I'm reading. I'm just a bit blurry. I'm concentrating, so I get quiet when I can concentrate.
Yeah, I've got something in my eye. So my left eye is watering like mad, so it's all blurred.
Doomsday.
I'm having a bit of eye trouble.
Doomsday clock. What a crock from Lisa. Yeah. It's not to insult, but yeah, we agree.
But still, I mean, imagine them saying to people, the Doomsday clock's about to strike midnight. Look what happened when they said, oh, you might get a nasty bug. Fuck me. Sorry, French.
It's all right, yeah, carry on, yeah. It's times
sorry, it's just the way they're called exclamation marks. Don't look at it as swearing.
Everyone has got Stockholm Syndrome with Bill Gates and the likes of. Agreed, sister. Well said. Stockholm Syndrome, where you sympathise. You sympathise with your abductors and hostages.
God, if we get through this and manage to not get or them try mandatory, there's some serious culling gonna have to go on people. Or if this starts getting serious, I'm telling you, it's gonna come. I hope it comes to something or we're all fucked. I hate to say it.
Go on.
No, it's going to take something massive. If everything that's going on is not good for us, which history tells us it probably isn't, but I don't know to what extent. we're gonna have to push back, or it's Oversville.
Vital for the Ital, Rastafari, I am, I and I. From Cleveland, that is. Oh, wow. Yes, thank you. Yeah, we got some armor of God to adorn, and we can use law and rights. And if they decide to take them away, then there's only one thing left to do, and that's to resist, I suppose, physically and en masse, collectively. But that might be a bit hard if we have no ways of communication, and the streets are turning like 1940s and grassing on each other and reporting each other and not sticking together. Why aren't we sticking together? Why are we pledging allegiance to some foreign dictatorship, some cult which has a belief system, no facts, and we now are going to them to tell on our neighbours, when the book and the scriptures and the messages are love thy neighbour and sort of help them, not go on, Kev. Oh my, you got some comments there.
I've lost the plot, mate. I have.
Mr. Dav's come in with a Kev joke. Can we take a moment? Thank you, Mr. Dav. Mum's gardener, Patrick Fitzgerald, got sacked today. He was found in the potting shed with Pete up his ass. Like that.
Result.
That's a joke that's down to interpretation, and Mr. Dav could be a top comment. I think we could all appreciate a smile right now, and that is a little bit of clever humour that we appreciate, the dexterity shown there. It's a bit like Careless Whisper. George Michael was allegedly, don't speak ill of the dead, David, I'm not, it's a joke on a dead man, can't really repeat it then, sorry everyone, it's against the rules, but it was a Careless Whisper joke, yeah, to do with that man. It's quite the similar line. Come on, Kev, let's go. I'm nearly at the bottom, which is probably not the bottom, it'll reload, but we're going to be getting off soon.
Yeah, well, I'm back down. The last one I've got is Lisa speaking to Jerry. But it's a little bit slow. And all of a sudden it will load up about 30 comments and completely lose where I was.
That's it, yeah.
All of a sudden just flash in, bollocks, where was I? I've got to go back and find that now.
Yes, Stuart, man outnumbers the dark black coats, women stick together, they're done. We mentioned when we was on the .com having a chat that being full of the correct vibration is an energy and etc. is essential for the health. You are electromagneto, as we've found, cells and voltages and currents, and we've found a different realm, principality-wise, law-wise, many things, faith-wise against religion, and you have put in a dark room, like I've entered places to speak. I'll say York Seminar, August 19 was it, or 18, I forget, Wake Up Project, and I got put to speak on first in place of John Smith. So I was like, wow, they're expecting John Smith, and they've got Dave G. All right then, Sovereign time. No Andy Sovereign Smith, because he couldn't make it. He had things to do with family, private stuff. So I went up and represented, and I felt the, what would I call it? I felt, on show, I felt that I had to do something good. I had to speak slowly and clearly. There was no microphone. The amplifier and speakers were on the way. So not only did John not arrive, which is down to whatever, I'm not condemning, cursing, criticising. I'm just saying he didn't arrive for whatever reason. And then the speakers, microphones, amplifiers were on the way, Kev. So they had nothing been set up. It was 10 a.m. I'd had 4 hours kip. We'd been up and chatting and chirping and whatnot. And, we'd had alcohol by the riverside, hungover. And I had to then correct myself instantly, see these eyes, know that I've got to project my voice, speak slowly, articulately, and win them over. I felt the scepticism, is what I'll say, amongst the constitutional Justin, what's his name now, who is it that was there, speaking wise and whatnot, Tom Crawford, and Justin Walker, is it? And those kind of guys, Mark Salon, Stephen McRae, David Robinson, somebody else from Constitution Group. So nothing to do with trust, equity, sovereignty, where we are, 1886 adjudicated, land tenure, 1925 law of property, where we was going, and correlations to status, standing and capacity. And I got into that. You see, I've set you up. I wasn't ready. I wasn't expecting to go on first. I was midday. I was last on the list, actually, not midday. I was last on the list. Pete McGowan was there. Mark Steele was there as well. Two other names I forgot that spoke in addition. And I had to transform that room. And from what I heard, I've set you up perfectly and truthfully for what I wasn't ready, and I wasn't set up for it, and I was feeling, tired. I hadn't had my 2 litres of go-go juice, and woken up, and I had to perform, and I did the best I could, and I turned that room around, I believe, and I got interactive with them, and it went from shockingly, surprisingly bad, as bad as it could be for somebody that was ready to represent on their own, half cut, no sleep, etc., and in a room full of negativity. So back to the original comment there that I'm picking up on from Brother Stuart. I did do that in the state, and by the time I'd finished, I was buzzing and awake. So I went from zombie, half asleep, nonchalant, to let's have it. And I was aware of who was in the room, and I felt a little bit. The man that asked me to do it was a lovely man. I forget his name now. He set it all up. Rob somebody. Lovely glasses, 50-ish, 45, 50, Rob somebody. And he said it in such a lovely way. I was like, yeah, no problem, Rob, I'll do it. And really inside I was like, Van Daal's The Scream, is it? Somebody, The Scream, who did The Scream? Roald Dahl? Somebody, Dahl.
Oh my goodness.
Weird, drippy paintings. The Scream. So you can all do that. Put your mind to it, Stuart. Salvador Dali. Put your mind to it.
That wasn't Dali.
There we go, darling. Thank you for that comment. It's a mental aptitude and a consciousness change. And if you can envisage any of that, what I've said, and you just, it's a mental thing. You've got I had a voice in my head saying, you're not ready, you're not prepared, you hadn't, and I just went, shut up, get to sleep, sovereign G's taking over. And I proceeded to enact my personam, yes, and talk about the persona spontaneously off the cuff, unexpectedly. And I appreciate all of you. And how you get that in different positions, surprise moments of pressure in non-desirable environments, and you have to perform. So,
yes.
Take from that what you will, fam.
How are you going to perform? As who are you going? As whom are you going to perform?
You see, it's all everywhere. It's not just a court. We're performing now.
Are you being paid for your performance?
Are you being served?
Oh yeah.
We're not going back to that, T. We're shutting down. Wow, I'm nearly there, Kev. We're nearly there.
Yeah, fair play, man. So you're right. I kept going Klimt, but I knew that wasn't right. Gustav Klimt, but as soon as I see it, I went, oh yeah, I should have remembered food bunch.
Look at Chippy go again.
Who knows?
No, Chippy again. 1561 Nuremberg. What if UFOs are actually in the 5th dimension but connected to the 3rd dimension, thus no clear image? I'm just going to leave it there. I like that, but I can't answer it now. You're onto something. They say there's lots of weird stuff that's going off. I've seen.
Yeah, that's right. You got Nuremberg, Nuremberg, Geneva. You've also got the BMA, the Code of Ethics of Doctors, the Hippocratic Oath. There's loads that protects you.
Thank you, though. We will look at that. I'll look for that document.
But never refuse.
Conditionally accept.
Never refuse. Politely decline consent. if they say you're being belligerent, so you get to be cool.
It's part of my
This all does comes to be.
part of my
But
faith.
you won't be able to force it on you.
As above, so below come before Nostradamus, Chippy, as well. But yes, you're right there. It was resaid there, but he was privy to writings from antiquities and what we found. So, yes, Nuremberg, and while we're mentioning this, war crimes and etc., do we all know, or can I just affirm what I found, and can you confirm or deny the trials for the Reich and Germany's alleged war crimes that we've been made privy of at these trials? 14 Nazi officers got dealt with at that trial. I was under the impression that shitloads had been made to pay and dealt with, but we know what happened, with the operations and taking to Americas and etc. But Nuremberg, 14. So correct me. I'm asking you. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I thought, and it was only the other week that it was made apparent, and I sat and thought, woe is me. So if I'm wrong, then I'd like to know, and I accept that. But I don't think I am. And if you're surprised that only 14 Nazi officers was made to pay and dealt with at the Nuremberg trials, you're just as surprised as I am then. Yeah, and I'll leave it there, brothers and sisters. Devils looking after their own. Or where were the rest of them? Where they weren't dead. Might have been somewhere else though, protected, and coveted. As we found with the science projects and the CIA and the NASA. So yeah, that's just because you mentioned Nuremberg. Yes. I didn't mean to say that, but for those that are interested.
Plus the occult stuff, plus the UFO stuff the Nazis were up to. They were right on it.
Yeah, so if you look at the hymns of Hermes, the Kabbalion, what I read at the beginning of the video, I gave you a link there. If you look at a .com called crystalinks.com, so the word crystal and then inks.com, it's a free, non-harsh, non-malicious, no malware, and it's there's lots of them. .coms to search for Hermes, but I particularly like the downloads that come from there. And then I search for the Kabbalion in general, because the one on crystalinks.com, I've no affiliation with this site. I just happened to use it and I remembered it, and I'll stick with it because it's easy to remember and it's good for you. So that's one source, and it's got a lot of references on there. The hymns of Hermes, the Kabbalion, that's got the Do Real translation on. You'll find another Kabbalion, which is not Do Real, which is connected to Masonic temples and organisations. I've got lots of Masonic books and references, not because I am a traditional Mason as such. I was born in May on the number 9. I accept that, a Taurus, but that's as far as it goes. These have got some interesting Luciferian type examples, but without mentioning Luciferian, it's the light giver of such, and comparables to, you go on your journeys and have a look. So there are many that repeat Santos's iconic video. And this isn't a criticism, this is a homage to both in ways. Know thyself, knowing thyself is a great important message, and it was written quite some time ago and presented by others in antiquities, and Homer, Iliad, not Hippocrates, Socrates, and others. I can't think now, I'm too tired, fam, but you get me where I'm coming from, and we just repeat them and keep echoing them through time, which is not copying, it's not ripping anybody off. It's like I put in that story in beginning, the positions of the characters, and Anubis being the keeper of, and etc. We are them reincarnate spirits and souls and vibrations, and without knowing it, you're doing your job as prophesied. Wrapping up, the prophecy is being fulfilled, and we are going to usher in a legacy if we know who we are, where we are, and we do it rightly in time. Otherwise,
and stand by it.
Well, yeah, not buckle at the last minute, and that's choice.
Stand by it.
Yeah.
Do not waver.
Menza, thank you for that, Bosh. Yeah, that's a clean one with no harm. Thank you, brother, muchly. But there are others you should that are more savvy. yeah, protect yourselves. Not, I'm talking antivirus, firewalls, etc. Go into the general web of, using DuckDuckGo or somewhere and put in the Cabalion again, or you can find it on the .com, and I may have put them on SPLs, but Facebook, but I
Can
don't
we
think
just
so.
say,
Yeah.
while we were saying this earlier, I don't know how many people bother, but start using things like DuckDuckGo and other search engines, especially ones that don't track you and hold your history, and they stop others tracking you. Just tonight, using DuckDuckGo, earlier on it said to me it blocked Google and somebody else trying to track what I was doing. So they don't hold your history, nothing. It's worth using it. It's worth using it. You don't want all your data being everybody knowing what you're doing all the time. It's ridiculous. There's enough of that goes on.
It's what happens is not what happens, but what I understand with metadata, package parcels, exchange, and handshakes is I'm building a .com, aren't I? So this is why I'm privy to. And I'm not an expert either though. But you send a bit of information from X to Y, and it's 10 meg. Well, it will go there, and it will lose a fraction of it somewhere, and that fraction goes somewhere, but we're not sure where, and it's collected up, metadata tagging, and it's weird. I can't recite it all, and we are shutting down. It's very late. We've talked about a lot, but yeah, some bit of it goes. The whole message gets from X to Y, but a bit gets somewhere in the transitional, which is why such things as WhatsApp started to encrypt to try to stop the spying by the national agencies, securities, and whatnot. So you have these metadata packets that, from what I understand, and I might be wrong, it might have changed since then, and they, on commercial ones, like you just said there, they can come in and intercept the X to Y data packet transition, authorized from the IPs, and it will take, and I don't know how the phones do it. It's just to some extent, you can only do so much. To the others that are really techified out there, we understand, but we're just trying to protect the fam incrementally and build them up. So we can't just go do this, because it's each one's choice, and we're not telling anybody. We're just giving options. But yeah, it's a crazy old world out there where you send things and others interpret it and profit and save and clone and spy, and I'm just trying to give you a bit of an insight as to why we do this, because it's not good. Oh.
It's mental out there. It's jungle out there, kids.
Don't stray from the path, because the jungle is massive.
Yeah. Heat to the warm part. All these beasties will get you. Right.
We're getting ready.
Yeah, mate.
We're going up.
It's 2:20 in the morning.
What? How did this happen?
Because it's you and me.
In the fam. This is it. We get on well. We've had a good chat, and yeah, we'll see you soon, won't we then?
Yes, everybody. Very probably midweek, unless something spectacular happens that we need to come and discuss with you all. I think probably midweekish, and then let's see how we go.
What's that? What did No Way Menza? What's Menza said? We'll have to see. Thanks, Kev. Google bought Duck. I heard. Oh, of course they have. We're on a Google platform, and we big up DuckDuckGo all the time. So, and others do as well. I've seen. So, a bit like Facebook buying WhatsApp. Oh yes, and okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Check that out. We need to check that. Thank you, Mr. M. Ubuntu, yeah, that's a good alternative to Windows. Michael Tellinger, I believe, with connection on the Linux systems of. I know Lyndon uses that. We'll get Lyndon on there again, and he asked me about it. He can tell you. I've never used it, but Lisa's saying about bedtimes, Kev. Look again, Mum's giving us a telling off about the way past.
Middle of the afternoon for her, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all relative. Yeah, it is, but we've done well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's 2:30. I've got to say, it's going to be a 4:00 job by the time I'm sorted. No, we've had a good go tonight. Don't forget, I keep forgetting we've also been on the .com for 2 hours. over and above this. So, been a good
Right,
night.
the chat room's just getting a violin out for us. Just 1 minute. They're just setting up now.
Yeah, good. I need my self-esteem polishing.
Let's say closing down statements, comments, and I would just like to say, those of you that pay attention and are aware, then we can see that the ones with eyes and ears are generally forewarned, and forewarned is forearmed, and it's written many times throughout the ages that the ones which are knowledgeable too. And obviously the internet wasn't around in the times gone by, so it's a lot more knowledgeable too than others. But yeah, just remember that message there. And if you happen to watch a Hollywood blockbuster that is going to bend your ment at the end of Lent, yeah, it's not funny, this film. It's I urge you not to watch it, but I can't tell you. It's not healthy, and you're not going to learn anything from it. It's a propaganda film. I'm probably going to make you want to watch it now, aren't I? But it's called The Hunt 2020. I'm not endorsing it. I'm not promoting it. I'm saying that I'm sickened by it, and I cannot believe I did when I was watching it. I haven't paid for it. I never pay for any of them. I get them from a nice source place there in Europe or Asia, direct streamed in good quality, and I just review them. And I was a bit like the Human Centipede type issue, but with now a twist. A twist is, if you've seen it, let me know and what your thoughts are quickly. But yeah, I'm ending with the goodness of forewarned is forearmed, and you know, you take your seriousness seriously, take your safety from that, or some say, you know, solstice from it. And what the media is pumping out at the minute is disturbing me greatly, is all I'm going to say, and I presume it's disturbing you, all of you. Had the story of the jackrabbit and the hare, the tortoise, sorry, and the jackrabbit. The hare is replaced by the jackrabbit, and the tortoise turtle, is it?
Fox turtle.
Yeah, and that's the one. He wins the race, the turtle, because the jackrabbit falls asleep, and when he wakes up, he's like, "Oh no, he's at the line," and he legs it, and the turtle wins. So later that night, I believe the story goes, the remaking of for The Hunt, and the writers, producers there, the rabbit, the turtle hears a knock at the door at tea time, and opens the door. It's the rabbit. He comes in, the rabbit busts his way in. This isn't word for word, you know. I'm not. We didn't want to remember it. I'm just repeating what I think I heard. And he kills the family in front of the turtle. Sits down at the dinner table, eats all of the meals, and then proceeds to kill the turtle. I was like, wow, okay then, that's a refreshing twist, isn't it?
New angle on it, isn't it?
And that's probably one of the nicest things about that film. So if you do watch The Hunt 2020, I've forearmed you and forewarned you, so you can see and be prepared. But that's probably one of the nicest parts of the film, to be fair. So it's got a lot of stuff in that will make you wonder, all right? And if you want to chat about it, if you have watched it, then we will do another time. Disturbing greatly, though. Hugs and kisses to you, Kev, from everybody, look, and to me. Blessings.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Right back at you.
There's some good top comments, some good information from us, from you.
Yeah, there's loads going on in there tonight.
It was worth it. See?
Absolute loads. Fair play to everyone. Thank you. Go on. I'm just about done now, to be honest. I'm just about ready to wind it down.
Just give us some time. We said about Wednesday we'll be back with updates and whatnot throughout the week.com, Facebook, and then, like I say, Wednesday time we'll have some idea, direction, paperwork, structure, documents, courses, referenceable. We'll go through it together. I appreciate not everybody's on the what did I call it? Facebook, Facebook. Yeah, because it was invented on a student college allegedly to get girls and get hit, booty calls. Facebook, Book of Faces, but you've got a base fook there, haven't you? Look, a base for your fooks if you were Scottish and you were so inclined. Sorry, but yeah, we'll go on there and we'll get them done. I'll download them and save them and put them on SPL's Pro YouTube. They're not going on Indie. We'll meet and go on to, because that's the backup channel in case, not in case, but when this one disappears, we'll go to SPL's Pro on YouTube. So if you could kindly take the time to look for that, you'll find me and another channel on here with SPLS and a space and PRO. And we will procreate and protect on that channel, and like I say, from midweek onwards. So thank you and much love.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Have a good one. We'll see you in the week. Much love to everybody. Appreciate your time.
At this moment, I'd like to play that video. There's just for the sound effects of the 20th century fanfare fox scrambled, you know, and finish on that. But I didn't have it ready. I was gonna and I forgot. But I failed you all. But I was gonna find it, Kevin, just to go out with a, you know, a fanfare
brilliant.
of funniness. But just picture that in your heads, everybody. And yeah, the intent was there, all right. Retired. Let them go. The links in from Menza, keeping us busy. All right then.
Fair play.
Thank you. We'll be back soon. It's
Thanks,
been fun.
Mensa.
2:30. This is a late one, isn't it? Ciao. Say
Yeah,
bye.
come on, let's do it, mate. It's a long night.
Ciao.
I'm enjoying it. But...
We're going now, Kev. Say bye.
Bye.
Ciao. Much love.